And we are live. Welcome to the Political Orphans. My name is Nico, and I am your in-house conservative. Normally to my left, Rob Ambrose, our token lefty's there, but clearly he messed up, but he's going to come back again. And as always, we review what's trending in the news. Our goal is simple. We want to show you that it is possible for a lefty and a righty to get along. And when we don't agree, you know what we do? We actually have a civil conversation like normal human beings, because never forget that common sense has no political affiliations. Jason, it's Wednesday. You're joining us. What's going on, brother?
What's up? Very hard surviving the mean streets of Hermosa Beach, California, but I'm doing the best I can. And I love your intro because it really shows that tribalism is the enemy of healthy dialogue, right? When tribalism is a good place to start from, right? Because you have somewhere where you stand for something as opposed to oppose everything. But when your commitment to your tribe instead of commitment over the truth takes precedence, you're impossible to talk to, right? Being right instead of getting it right. Being right instead of getting it right is probably not the way to go.
Very good point, brother. Man, it's windy here.
Love your head fake yesterday on the live show yesterday about the JFK things. Like everyone was like licking their lips. Oh my God! Oh, I can't wait. Nico's gonna drop a juicy bomb, and he's like, nope, redacted. Redacted.
I at the end of the day, I understand why people want to see it, but it's so irrelevant now. I know what happened. The information's out there. It's not a surprise, and I know that they're not going to say the whole truth. I don't believe it. I don't believe in governments. I don't care who they are. They're never going to release all the information about it. They're always going to redact some stuff because you can't really go in and say that it was an inside job. Like that's problematic because you're pushing your own people not to believe in your government, meaning you. So whoever reveals the information, you're basically telling them you can't trust us. So obviously they're going to redact something just like they did with the Epstein file, right? There's a good reason why that fucking document was just like redacted.
Oh, isn't that?
I've seen classified CIA documents with less redaction in it than the Epstein file. So
right,
like
listen,
insane.
When they tell you it's irrelevant or what's the big deal, it was a long time ago. You know what You know what that's about? That is the tail end of an argument they're losing, right? Because the argument starts with it never happened, right? Second of all, okay, it did happen, but it's just this one guy. And then they go for it's this one guy, but maybe it's these other guys. And then when you find it's all these guys, it's like, what's the relevant? Why bother? Why do you care? Why does everybody care? And this and that, you know? And if as far as like releasing and unredacting these things make us trust the government less. It pales into comparison than redacting it and keep hiding it and kicking that can down the road. They think we trust the government now. They think right. They think telling us they're going to release something, but let's say you were in that file, right? The culprit redacted, right? Committed the crime of redacted by using a redacted in his kitchen, redacted. Whoa, got to take out kitchen, redacted. You know, I mean, dude, these are escapist lines because there's a chronological pattern that gained the mistrust from the government of the United States of America.
And again, it doesn't matter who did it. Whoever's going to expose it is going to lose. No matter what there's no win-win here. It's a lose, but it's a lose-lose situation. Even if you're not involved, you're still showing that the government cannot be trusted. So it's a lose-lose situation if you're in government.
How do you want to lose? That's the question, right? Nico, you're surrounded by 6 guys, right? You can lose by running because I know you don't like to run. You're a man's man, right? Or you can lose by saying, you know what, I'll whoop all 6 of your asses, right? You have a choice to make, right? And you might lose that, but you made your constitutional choice on how you want to lose. And I think
100%.
And they're not the bosses, Nico. I don't know what the hell's going on in Canada, but this is the United States of America. We're the fucking employers. If we say release the files, release the files. You know, or we'll vote your ass out and put someone else, someone that will. We thought that was Trump, but time will tell.
We're talking about Epstein?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. I'm back, ready to rumble.
It's still there, though.
It's all right. It's going away.
The sound is still there. Maybe it's your voice.
That's his mic.
My name's Rob.
Guys, listen to me.
My
If
name's
it does,
Rob. Hello.
if it does get too bad, like just let me know. I'll just restart the whole thing and jump back on.
Right.
But if
Before
that's
you guys
okay.
get to the first topic, Rob came on the podcast on Monday afternoon. The live version's still up. It's going to be available on iTunes and Spotify and a Facebook-friendly version on my NYVasitySports page. We went almost 3 hours.
That was a lot of fun.
Fantastic conversation, multifaceted discussion. And
It's lots of stuff going on.
And here we are, back with the white supremacists.
Did you just fucking plug your show before I can even ask the question of the day?
Nice. He got in there. He got in there.
God damn.
Can't hate the player, hate the game.
No.
It is hard being
no,
a
but-
gangster from the streets of
but you know
Hermosa
what?
Beach,
The
California.
mean streets.
Yes.
I expect no less from a liberal. So it's okay. Oh. Prairie, good day, Prairie. Always a pleasure. I think she's already on. No transparency or accountability with anything government.
Yeah.
Agreed. Tony is saying good day. What's going on, bro?
Tony, how's it going, brother?
Tony and Prairie are having their own discussions. Fucking love it.
Yeah, you
Now,
love to see it.
guys. Yep. Now, before we get into it, I want to ask you the question of the day. Is the relationship between Canada and the US deteriorating, or is it all fake news pushed by mainstream media? Is the relationship between Canada and the US deteriorating, or is it all fake news pushed by
We'll let the Canadians go
media
first.
To me, I think it is not yet, but I think it's at very real risk. I think there's a certain aspect of perception becomes reality. And I think if the media continues to play this up, and our leaders are not helping much. I mean, Donald Trump's clearly not helping, but I mean, that's Donald being Donald, right? I would like to see Carney and whoever's going to be prime minister next sort of try to repair that relationship a little better than he is. He's not doing sweet fuck all at this point to repair that relationship. And you can say, well, it's not us that broke it. It's Donald Trump. And that's fair. But I mean, it keeps going back to what we talked about, leverage, who holds the cards. And right now we in Canada do not hold any cards. So you kind of got to play the hand you're dealt. What's your take, Jason, on the, as an American, is this anything people are even talking about in your neck of the woods?
In America, it's two nouns combined to prescribe a verbal response. It's called nothing burger. And that's what's going on here. It's entertainment, and for me, who's neck deep into all facets of every major and minor party, everyone I talked to said it's the biggest head fake on what's really going on in the world. Right? It's three times faceted. It's what's going on in Ukraine, what's Russia response, what's Putin saying to Trump. No one's asking those questions. Gaza's already been flattened. The West Bank is being infiltrated, which had nothing to do with October 7th. Right? What's going on with there, and the dictator Benjamin Netanyahu, which by the way is not his real name, and more importantly, we're assisting in the genocide in Yemen with the Saudis, and when Yemen attacks us back, it is now an attack in the United States. So we're balls deep in 3 fucking minor wars that Congress never declared war for. So hell yeah, Canada's a luxury. We're having fun, and at the end of the day, Trump really just wants to jab at them and wants Canada to take it with a smile.
You know, I'm going to push it even further than that, because as someone, I think I'm the best equipped here to speak, since I've traveled more than 99.9% of Americans in their own country.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not just a Canadian. I'm a French Canadian. So there's no hiding my accent. When I show up to Texas, they're not like, ooh, that guy might be Mexican. No. That guy's fucking, where the fuck's that guy from? So as someone that's traveled 23 states in the past over 3 years, I can tell you, man, that the average American absolutely loves Canadian. And we're talking about the South. We're not even talking about the North that likes Canada even more, because they're more like Canada. We're talking about the rednecks, the hillbillies down South. And they all tell me the same thing. They're like, bro, we would love to have you as an American. They love Canadians. They understand that we've been under an extremely woke government over the past 9 to 10 years. And they understand that it's a shitty place to be. So they're like, bro, we get it. They have nothing against us. But where I'm going to push back is, this idea that Canada are polite people and nice people. We have that for some reason worldwide we have that reputation that to be nice and just
That's
polite with people. Yet I can tell you, bro, the average Canadian is such an asshole compared to the average American. It's not even close. Like, I will tell you that the poor guys in Alabama that are rednecks, that are black as fuck, like there's no mistaking them. Like, there's those fat rednecks, those black guys, they all live together, they're all poor together. And you know what? They're so much nicer. So much nicer. Like, I was stuck in traffic the other day and I'm smoking a cigar and I'm just in my head. I'm not paying attention. I'm sitting there. I'm looking off my passenger seat. I'm just off my passenger window and I'm just staring. Turns out there's this really mean looking black guy that's sitting in the car literally right next to me. My windows are down. His windows are down. So I can hear everything he's going to say. Just looks at me. He's like, "What's up, man?" Not as in, "What's up, man?" As in like
what's good?
Up? Like,
just
what's up?
literally, how are you doing? How's it going?
Do you do that in Montreal, Toronto, any other city in Canada? You look at somebody like that, I would have gotten attitude, as in like, what the fuck you're looking at? That dude is just, but that's my point, right? But that guy just looks at me, he's like, "What's up? You doing, bro? Like, how you doing, bro?" So the point I'm trying to make is that over the years, we have that reputation of being super nice, of being super respectful. Yet, who's booing the national anthem in Canada right now? Who's booing the U.S. anthem in Canada and booing a 15-year-old that's never sang it before, that's sitting in front of thousands of people, millions of people watching, and they're like, "Boo!" How about you shut the fuck up? But the point is that Canadians have been assholes forever. Yet we have the reputations of being nice for some reason. I don't know where it comes from. And I'm down south. I'm literally right here as a French Canadian. I'm the worst of the worst when it comes. If you want to hate Canadians, it's always fucking French Canadians that you're going to hate. I am the worst of the worst. I'm a white French guy from Canada. Yet people down here, everywhere I've been so fucking nice to me and my wife. And my wife's a redhead. There's no mistaking us for foreigners. We're from fucking Canada, right? But I find it interesting that now Canadians are so fucking offended. And you'll see the two first topics we have today, just like it says at the bottom here. Did Trump back Carney or call Canada nasty? We're so outraged right now, and yet we're the fucking assholes. Like, I'm not talking about Trump's not an asshole. I'm just talking Canada versus the U.S. I'm not talking prime minister versus prime minister. I'm talking Canadian people versus American people.
You're also
American people.
US South, though. Like, we have a song. Hank Williams has a song called "A Country Boy Can Survive," right?
Sure.
And you should listen to the whole song. It's great guitars, and it is a timeless song. It's made in like the 70s, and people still play it now. And one of the verses are, "We say grace and we say ma'am. If you ain't down with that, we don't give a damn." And there is something polite about holding a seat for a woman, letting a woman go first. Love your country, protect your woman.
A classic Southern gentleman, right?
It's called "A Country Boy Can Survive" for everybody. For my guys, who are going to watch me sing karaoke tonight. I'm probably going to sing that. I'm inspired. But you got to remember, the more north you go, the ruder people are, right? I'll do an Andrew Dice Clay impression of someone in Brooklyn, right? Just like Nico said, you pull up, the windows roll down. It's like, you got a fucking problem.
And
fucking pipe
in the bowl, bitch.
I'll stick your pipe. And those are the girls. Those are the chicks, right?
Yeah.
So, what's your fucking problem? Those are the women. Those aren't even the guys.
Yeah.
And I can attest to that Southern politeness, like to that Southern women, like all the women above my age, they call me honey. It's the funniest thing. Like, "Hey, honey, is there something I can do to help you?" Yeah. Like, guys my age are like, "Sir, how you doing, sir?" And everybody's sir, ma'am, cool. Honey, like, so polite. I love it. I fucking love it down there. And everybody wears cowboy boots. I fucking love it. I can't pull it off, but I fucking love cowboy boots.
Yeah. And 23 states, Nico. Good for you. You actually, that is more than 99.9%. I myself, the last 3 years, have only traveled 21. You got me beat by 2 states, right? And I was only because I was shooting a documentary called Club Coach, right? So you didn't have a reason to. You just did it randomly.
Again,
And
Again,
you are
with
you are a
plugging
man.
his own shit on
yeah.
my show.
You are
Yeah, I was shooting a documentary called Club Coach, which is, by the way, live on iTunes right
Is there
now.
something else you want to plug? Because we're like 14 minutes in. You plugged your podcast, you plugged your documentary. Anything else you want to get out of the way right now? Before
I
we...
Jason,
think-
brother,
well-
you can plug whatever you want, my man. You
Well, I'll
got
tell
it.
you what. If we had a citizen of the world,
Yeah.
we give it to Nico, right? Nico, agree or disagree with him, it at least comes from this authentic and organic pulse from being, boots on the ground and eyewitness account, and of course, seat of your pants wisdom. And this is why this fucking show is awesome. It's such a great podcast.
I love Americans, man. And it's not because I'm sucking up to them, because I got the chance to travel. I traveled the US more than I did Canada. As much. No, that's not true, because I only have one province I haven't been in Canada. But
Yeah. How many countries have you guys been to?
Good question.
10 point,
I've
Off the
been-
top of your head, you say more than 10.
Afghanistan, Singapore, Thailand, Laos, fucking Dominican, Cuba, America. I think that's it.
All that pussy, man. Wow. Jesus.
as a white guy with
I
blue
got-
eyes, you know he
I
got
got-
laid.
I got
Hey,
some
Mom.
stories. I got
Sorry for the people that just
Hey, Mom.
came out
I got
of
some stories
choir
I'll tell you.
practice.
I got some stories I'll tell you off air. Both my
Okay.
mom and my girlfriend watch this show, so
To go back, guys, the question for you, I'm going to ask it again. Is the relationship between Canada and the US deteriorating, or is it all fake news pushed by
to
mainstream
the
media?
way that's
That's the
worded,
question.
I think deteriorating. I would agree, but I think it's the very beginning stages. I think we can still pull back, but I think, like I said, I think our leaders have to play a role in that, and I'd like to see American leaders play a role in that too. I think, I'd like to see some of the northern border state governors sort of, and I think they are sort of being like, all right, guys, like let's pump the brakes here a little bit. Like, you want someone to step in when the two brothers are fighting and say, guys, you're family, right? Like, knock it the fuck off. And I'd like to see that, a little bit of that from both sides.
Well, I hate to answer the question with a question. After all, I'm not a government employee. I'm a civilian living in mean streets of Hermosa Beach, California. My question is this: is there an end game? What is the end game? Is this something you guys foresee as a residual thing? Because if you see this as a residual thing, then it kind of helps us answer this question together. And the audience, please, man, whatever in the comment section, I pose everybody a question with that question. Did Trump kick back to Carney or call Canada nasty? What's going on in the U.S. and Canada as far as tariffs or whatever? Is there an end game, and what's the end game?
I think it really depends on what Trump's end game. As far as with Trump, in some ways, it's quite easy to see what he's doing. I find on this case, it's a little hard to read the tea leaves. It's hard to tell if this is a negotiating tactic, if he's just kind of trolling for shits because he is that kind of guy, or if he's genuinely trying to, bring Canada to his knees economically so that he can, I guess, I think he's thinking we'll run into the arms of the Americans as long as they can remove tariffs. Because I'm pretty sure he's serious about the 51st state thing. That's just from what he says, but people around him, people behind the scenes, everybody says who's talked to him or been around that this is a serious thing. So I don't know how I don't know what his probability of success on this is. I don't know if he's thinking this is a long shot, Hail Mary, I'll throw some tariffs on, throw some rhetoric out there and see what happens, or if this is a hard plan in his mind. But I think that's the answer to your question, is what is Trump really doing?
I'm trying to find, because I got to be very, very, very careful about the way I answer this without getting in trouble, because it is, I'm looking for a picture. There's a guy I follow on X that posted a picture about this, and it would answer the question altogether. And it's basically a picture of, imagine the Oval Office. Trump is sitting down with Carney to his left and King Charles to his right, and they're all signing official document on the desk. This is an AI picture that was posted at least 1 to 2 months ago, even before there was a leadership in Canada. He's a Canadian. I just can't fucking remember what his name is, but his content is really, really out there. But he basically, what he says is that, and I'm going to put my hat on here. What he says is that Canada is going, so Carney, Trump, and King Charles are going to sign a deal that Canada becomes part of the US, and eventually it's going to retag to the UK. Basically, see it this way. This is one of the things. It depends how deep the rabbit hole you want to go. Because right now it could be as simply, maybe the end goal is Trump putting us in such a bad situation that we're going to have to join the US. Or Carney is going to use that for us to join the European Union, because he's already talked about that. He's already
I don't want to see that.
alluded. Carney already alluded to the fact that he would like us to be closer to Europe and trade. So is it that far-fetched to say that he wants us as part of the European Union? Is it better for us to be Canadian? Is it better for us to be American? I'm going to push it even further and say that no matter what it is, it brings us closer to a one world government, no matter what it is. No matter if we decide to become Americans, we become, like, Canada's the second biggest country after Russia. So imagine that the US and Canada go together. Can you imagine that superpower that creates? That's insane. Now, if you have Canada that joins the UK, this is not good for our relationship with the US, but it still brings us closer to a one world government, because they're starting to erase those boundaries. They're starting to erase our borders with other countries. And this is what scares me. No matter what, in my opinion, as Canadians, we're fucked. It doesn't matter that we become American. It doesn't matter that we become part of Europe or the European Union. We're still going to get fucked, because arguably, and I don't think it's that much of an argument to say that we are the most natural resource rich country in the world, untapped. We do not take advantage of our natural resources whatsoever. Our untapped potential is so big, and it doesn't matter that it's great for the US. It doesn't matter that it's great for Europe. It doesn't matter that it would be great for Russia. It would be great for China. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what, Canada's in a very bad place right now, and it's very hard for me to believe that it is not a plan that's been planned up for a long time, that we're just starting to see the end game. And to me, it looks bad no matter what, because I'd much rather be part of the US than Europe. And that's going to be in my lifetime, right? For my lifetime, I'd much rather be an American than be part of Europe, if you give me the choice.
Well, if they push,
at the same time,
if they push this argument to that false dichotomy, sure.
Yeah,
but that's my point. But that's my point. And I'm only talking for myself. I'm not talking for my children, because in the long run, it's my children that are fucked. We're not, the long game. If you believe in conspiracy theory, the thing that's so hard to understand for the average people that don't believe in conspiracy theories is the time frame. People are so used to instant gratifications that everything needs to happen now. No. If you look at the starts with Roth and finishes with Child. If you look at where banking systems come from, how the Federal Reserve was created, and how yeah, as he says that, he's frozen.
I don't want
to. You said that.
I don't
but you know what I'm saying. If you start playing with those names, those guys have been in power for hundreds, if not thousands of years, right? This is a long game.
God rest your soul. Leela, who's still alive. Peter.
Yep.
All of those people who I actually met once or twice at parties. I'm Jason, and I want to live.
Those are the. It's funny because I don't even. It's weird that you always hear like Rothschild this, Rothschild that. You don't really think of them as real people, right? They're actual human beings. Like you know that they are, but like it's more like this. The
wealth is divided amongst family members, which is why they'll never be in the top 20 richest people in the world.
But if you put them together,
it's the richest family. They basically, God damn it, no more about the Rothschilds. But as far as Canada,
but that was not the point. My point. All I was saying is that
Nico, sorry, go ahead.
All I was saying is, if you start understanding their time frame compared to ours, this is the beauty and what's bad about having a family that's extremely rich generation to generation, because their kids are not trained the way we raise our kids. I was not brought up rich, so even if I do become rich, I will raise my kid a certain way because I did not have that growing up. I want him to understand the advantages that he's going to have with wealth. But I wasn't brought up like that. I was not brought up from the get-go to know I'm rich. You're not like other people. You're better than other people. You have more value than other people. Because let's not lie to each other. Those families don't see us as equal.
No, they
just
don't.
Look at your government. Your government that are not even that rich don't see you as their equal. Like we think about a Donald Trump that's a billionaire. Yeah, that's fine. Rothschilds are all fucking billionaires. They're estimated in the trillions, not billions, trillions. So they don't even play the same game as a Donald Trump, right? So the point I'm making is that if you understand that those guys have been in power for so long and they're playing the game, they're the generational game. They're playing the long run. I probably will never see a one world government, but my kids,
I hope not.
But my kids might, right? So in the short term, I'd much rather join the US.
Debank much? We don't want a one world government. Hey, Nico, if we continue to talk about the Rothschilds, if I'm found dead, tell everybody how I was found. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I didn't commit
guys, I am not suicidal. Yeah. I do. If you find me with, if I commit suicide with 2 bullets in the back of the head,
hands tied behind your back.
It might not be suicide.
That the police will rule a suicide, right? It'll be on the next CIS. Double tap entry wounds to the back of the head. And it said hands tied behind his back with barbed wire. I think we have ourselves a suicide, people.
You know, guys, before we get in the next video, let's just take some comments because we're 30 minutes in almost.
Let's do it.
Tony G is saying, you got it? Go for it.
Okay. Tony G is saying, I think it's getting better the more people are taking the blinders off. You would literally have to be brainwashed completely not to see the hypocrisy and hidden agendas. I believe he's referring to the question of the day is relationship between United States and Canada deteriorating or improving. Prairie says he called dealing with Canada and Trudeau.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, that's a misconception. That's a misconception.
I posted about that this morning. It's come on, guys. Yeah. The video's sort of like 20 seconds. No, but the video's 20 fucking seconds long. Take 20 seconds and watch the fucking video. Don't just read
the same thing as the both sides in Charlottesville, right? Like the media runs with something, but no one watches the actual video. Prairie, we're the people that apologize if someone steps on your toes. I mean that's the perception for sure.
It's not quite accurate though.
Yeah, if you're in New York, step on my N1, see what happens.
I'm not just stepping on your N1s. I'm gonna scuff them on purpose.
That's your N1s. That's one way to go, Nico. That's the way you choose to go.
Prairie says, I would agree with that. It brings us closer to this one world order, and she's referring to just what we were talking about just now. Sort of quasi conspiracy theories. I feel like with what you're saying, I mean, I don't think my whole thing with conspiracy theories, it's not that I don't believe that there are people out there that want to do those sorts of things. It's more just, I just think, the saying, three people can keep a secret if 2 are dead or something like that. It's more like the long-term plans that would have to be done in order to keep sort of some of these really big conspiracies going. Strikes me as not plausible, but there's lots of things that struck me as not plausible recently that we now know are true. And so that's sort of I don't dismiss anything anymore these days after, what we've seen in the past 5 years. The conspiracy theories have been proven right enough that
they're spoiler alerts.
They're not always right. They're definitely not always right.
Anymore. They're spoiler alerts. All right. So my question before we go on conspiracy theory, let's 10-second definition of what you think the conspiracy definition is, and then we can continue to go from there. For me, a conspiracy theory is when 2 or more people conspire to do something, right? So, for example, the government, like you guys are talking about JFK, the government has a conspiracy theory too. They're going to believe they're making you, but their theory is a guy who's not even a good shot at a moving target, right? 800 feet away with a bolt-action rifle and got 3 shots off in 7.1 seconds and hit the president twice, including a headshot. That's also a conspiracy theory. That's their theory.
You're right.
And when people said there were 4 shots. 4 shots means 2 shooters, right? 2 shooters means conspiracy. So what would Nico, what would you say? What would your definition?
I will give you the actual definition. It's a belief that some secret but influential organization is responsible for an event or phenomenon. What I believe a conspiracy theory is,
what's the
6 months. I would say 6 months from the truth. That's what I say a conspiracy theory is.
Do you have a date on that definition? Because that got changed. That wasn't a definition from 2016.
That is the definition from the Oxford Language
that's the one that
Dictionary.
seems more.
No, but do they have,
this
do
is
they have a date on that? Like an update on that?
Jason,
the corner?
your definition, I believe, is the correct legal definition. That's the one that they will.
Because they changed the definition of vaccine in 2021.
No, but see, there's another one here from March 8th, 2025 by Merriam-Webster, a theory that explains an event or set of circumstances as the result of a great plot by usually powerful conspirators.
Yeah, that sounds right. And for me, like I said, I certainly don't. Conspiracy theories are not always right. Sometimes they are just bullshit. But the theorists have been proven right enough over the last few years that I don't think you can just dismiss anything.
It can be right and still be a conspiracy theory, though. It's a theory that was proven right.
Yeah. Right? And you can even be right on the big pictures, but right along on some other stuff, and people will say you're wrong too. So I think just the word conspiracy theory in general is definitely overused and definitely weaponized.
Right.
To shut people down, right? To call people kook. What's that?
Jesse Ventura, he says, well, their theory is 19 Saudis infiltrated our multi-billion-dollar defense system and armed with box cutters, landed planes into buildings. And I'm like, all while conspiring with a bearded man in a cave halfway around the world, right? So, it's just the definition is always fun to talk about. Fun, YouTube. That's what we're talking about here. If you didn't see
it's all fun.
It's at the end of the day, this is it. This is the difference between somebody like me that's considered a conspiracy theorist and the average individuals is what are you ready to believe? Because there's a step that you need to take a massive step in order to open that horizon. Because
I agree with you.
If there is, if right now, on everything, like in regards to everything, you have to accept from the get-go that your government does not like you. If you're capable of understanding that the people in power, no matter that you call them the government, that you call them people behind the scenes, like the family we talked about, whatever you see as the people in power, do they like you? Do they believe that they're the same, that you are the same as them? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself. If you can go over that step and say, they don't like me, and just look at history, they really don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah. If
you can swallow this and say, you know what, that is the basis of my understanding, everything from now on will be based. If you cannot accept this, that's why you're always going to take what I say as a conspiracy theory.
Well, it's because
you can accept that fact and just say, you know what, if I look at history, they don't seem to like me. Now the rabbit hole opens.
I like what you said there. You go ahead, Jason, and then I'll
I said Nico was alluding to a bigger point. You're the ones questioning a claim, and they pull this reverse psychology bullshit. Where you have to answer their questions, right? And for the people at home, right? Don't fall for the okie doke. I'm gonna get to you in a minute, Rob. Don't fall for the okie doke. If somebody asks you why the government lie, why would the government lie, right? Don't fucking answer that question because you're the one questioning the claim. And if they ask you that question, answer it by saying this. Why should we trust them now? Based on the historical pattern of lying to us and getting caught lying over and over and over again. The question is not why they would lie. The question is, why should we believe them now?
Yeah, that's a good point. And Nico, I really like what you said. I think it's a really good way to think about it. It's almost a hill that you go up, right? And once you pass that 100%. Other point, it all comes out. Now, my sort of issue and why I find myself resisting crossing that point, even though I feel myself climbing that hill, is because I think what I see in a lot of conspiracy theorists, and I don't think I see it in you. I think I still see an attempt to try. But once you do make that leap and you cross that point, I think if you just go whole hog, you then become susceptible to essentially believing everything you hear.
Yep.
Which is
that's
just dangerous.
That's just as dangerous and dumb as not believing anything. So my point is, I'm trying to get to the top, but I want to stay close to that, where I'm not going to dismiss anything, but I won't just blindly accept everything, because, as I said, the conspiracy theorists have been proven right enough that we cannot dismiss them.
There's there's
a
a few things,
theorist, but I don't mean it in a negative light.
Yeah.
No, but there's a few things to keep in mind when it comes to that, and I agree with what you just said, Rob. You got to be careful not to see conspiracy theories everywhere either.
Well, I've heard you say that. I've heard you say that, and that's why I'm saying.
I would let's step it up a notch even more. Like, one of my buddies is a conspiracy theorist as well, but he doesn't believe that there's somebody behind the wall, like, you know, like a magician in Oz, right? There's he doesn't really believe that there's a vast conspiracy. What he sees is that people are sinful and take advantages of bad situation. They see a way to make money off of people's suffering, so they take it. So even within conspiracy theorists, even if I believe that there's a massive agenda running everything, there are levels to this, right?
Yep.
At this, my buddy's like, I don't believe in what you believe, but I do believe that they fucked us enough to know that they're conspiring against us, right? So there's levels to it, but at the same time, you know, I'm a big fan of Alan Watts. I was a Buddhist for 15 years almost before becoming a Christian, and Alan Watts was my man. Fucking love this guy. And the reason I'm able to always stay somewhere in the middle when it comes to conspiracy theories and not let it run my life is because of he had an idea that we should be like a joker. You should understand that everything that happens here is just a big fucking joke. We're just a bag of flesh that we will one day die and meet our maker. But until then, enjoy your time here, but never forget that it's a fucking joke. So I can look at all of these things and just say, you know what? At the end of the
too far down the rabbit hole. So you're
because this is where it's dangerous, man.
Yeah, it is.
If I let everything that I believe in dictate the way that I feel every day, oh, bro, it's just that I have a pretty good understanding of what do I control. What do I control in my life? And the way that I feel, the way that I see the world is about the only thing I control.
And the Joker, is always portrayed as the villain, right? You remember the Heath Ledger version? He burned his portion of the money, which made him scary as fuck, right? They had like that big pile
what's
of
he
money.
doing it for, right?
And he fucking set his money on fire, right?
You take the money portion away,
the villain they want you to be afraid of. They're like, wow,
I think
can't be bought off like our politicians. We're in trouble, dude.
Nico, I'll just add one point, and actually I was actually going to ask Bernadette to explain that comment BS, and I believe
because it came like 10 minutes ago.
The word conspiracy theorist is overused, used to discredit everything the government doesn't disclose, and I will 100% agree with that.
I agree.
That's what I mean when I say it's been weaponized for sure. And I'll just add one final point, Nico and Jason, and then I think we'll move on. And I think it goes back to your point of it being a worldview, that once you sort of cross this point, and I'm not crossed there yet. I don't fundamentally believe our government hates us. I think we have a lot of bad government, but I think we can change it. But essentially, I think the core difference is the way you, like, when, let's say we both agree a conspiracy theory was right or is correct. You see that, I see that as something went wrong in government, whereas you see that as, that went right. That's exactly what they wanted it to do.
Thing that went wrong is that they got caught.
Exactly.
That's what went wrong.
And I see it as follow the money, right? Like,
that's how I see it. I think a lot of it can be explained.
Yes, I want you to consider this. Go on fucking opensecrets.com, which is a site that shows big donors for every politician, and then when they get elected, see how they vote on what they legislate and what they pass, right? It's just stop, right? Like, everybody's like, oh, you know, like if Kamala Harris won, Israel wouldn't be such a bully. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Kamala Harris is the biggest recipient of AIPAC, the American Israel Political Action Committee, right? First and second was Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, right? Elizabeth Warren, there's a reason why she's asking RFK, do you promise not to sue Big Pharma if you get confirmed? Look at the donors list. Who's the number one? Nico, you can probably confirm if she's number
Kamala
one
Harris.
1A.
No, it was Kamala Harris and Joe Biden.
No, Big Pharma.
Kamala Harris and Joe Biden.
But up there was who else? Elizabeth Warren, the same fucking chick that asked the question.
100%.
So this is so
uniparty, right?
Yeah, I understand that he like Rob said, the person that believes in none of it's true is everything is dangerous as everything is true. And as to the comment of BS, I say no, this isn't bullshit. This is serious shit.
Yeah, but right. The number one thing that keeps me going every single day, and I can actually be that joker that Alan Watts talks about, is because I know. Yeah, would I burn the money? No, I would have given it away to poor people. That would have been the difference. But what I was going to say is, what keeps me sane every day is knowing that I believe in something greater than myself. When I die, I'm going to meet my maker. So whatever happens here, it's preordained. I don't have a lot of control over it. I'm going to do my best to raise my family right, to provide for them and help as many people as I can with whatever resources that I have to do so. And outside of that, man, I'm going to fucking enjoy my life, and I'm not going to let evil people bully me into hating my life.
I think that's just good life advice, right? Regardless of just whatever's going on in your life. I think you hit the nail on the head right there. So we'll just take this final comment from Tony G and then probably move on. So Tony says, I wonder when the man decided to destroy the family unit. Conspiracy or not, it smells fishy. If it smells fishy, it's fishy. So this is one of those things where, again, we all agree. It's quite clear that there is a movement to destroy the family unit. I don't think that is like the government per se. I think that is a faction of the left over the last 20 to 30 years, and the left has been culturally dominant, and so therefore it seems like it's everywhere. But I still believe, and again, I'm at least aware enough to know I might just be being naive or optimistic. I still believe we can change that. We can have a left that's sane, that celebrates the family unit. Because I like one thing I firmly believe that I think both you guys will agree with is, yeah, shit happens. Sometimes a mom, father dies, mom has to raise a child by herself, but the nuclear family unit, mother, father together raising children, is by far the best way. It is the thing that humanity is based on. And that is the best way to raise children and the best thing to structure society around. And that's not a common left-leaning position, but I hope, I might be wrong, but I'm still going to try to do what I can.
And that's about men being men, right? Yeah. Like my mom, I never met my real father. He left my mom with $1, right? My mom had used that $1 to take the train to go on welfare. And for 3 years, she was on welfare, and strong Black woman, true to her form. She didn't ride it for the rest of her life where everyone would have understood she got left, right? Mm-hmm. She went back, found a way to get back into school, found a job as a paralegal, got on welfare in like 3 years. But my point is, no woman should have to do that shit the hard way. She did it the hard way. You know what I'm saying? And in many ways, it estranged her from her kids because her in an attempt to try to make life better for us has created an estrangement from each other.
Probably took her out of the home a lot. And although
because Nico knows, like Nico, we talked about that. Like if you don't have a father figure at home, wherever you live, hey, as soon as you leave the block, you're going to find you a father figure. And it might, and where I grew up on Flatbush Avenue, that might not be the right guy I would want to look up to as a man. So, but listen, the divorce rate, I just looked it up, is 40 to 50% first marriage in the United States of America. Is that a bipartisan thing or is that a partisan thing?
I'd have to relook.
My gut tells me it skews left.
It does skews left, but is especially skew. You know what skews it?
No,
what skews it the most is the education level of the woman.
Yeah. Yep.
This is what skews it more. If a woman does not have a college degree, the divorce rate, or like because let's understand this, women initiate divorce 70 to 90% of the time. Okay. So if 1 out of 2 relationships, let's call it spade, just make it easy, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got that. You got that too.
Half of weddings, half of marriages end up in divorce. 70 to 90% of the cases, it's initiated by the woman. 70% when she doesn't have a university degree. 90% when she has a university degree. So her education plays a role. But I would probably argue that it's probably just more than education is probably where they come from. Because, they say that in the South, they're less educated.
When someone cheats on you, you should have a college degree. Come on.
Yeah. But the
probably
point
that
I'm
if you have
trying
a good
to
job makes it easier to leave, right?
No, but it's more than that, because if you understand what people are shown in universities, like if you understand the feminist that's being taught, the DEI that's being taught, that saying that, the message that women don't need men has been pushed by the governments everywhere for a very long time.
And that's
so
wrong.
is
That's wrong.
I don't think that any of us disagree with that, but what I'm saying is the more education, there's studies showing that the more educated you are as a person, the more obedient and easily to control you become. Because if you understand that the education system is not based on critical thinking, it's not based in teaching you how to research and how to actually live a proper life. The education system that we have today has become regurgitation. How good are you at regurgitating what we want you to know? So you're literally, when you're studying, our teachers when I was in college, my teachers weren't telling me to critical think. They were telling me, this is the subjects that you need to know. Those are the answers. And I'm going to give you a fucking test that's going to see how good you are at memorizing those
dates,
answers.
places,
So studies are showing that the more educated you are, the more gullible you are and the easier you are to control, because you are literally trained to listen to someone without questioning them and just repeating what they tell you. Because that's not what an education system should be. Unfortunately, that's what our system has become. They've become indoctrination centers. They haven't, the number one thing I'm so happy I have it is critical thinking. I've always had a critical thinking mind. I've always questioned people. And that's why I can tell to the people here, even if I tell you that something's happening, don't fucking trust me. I don't want you to trust me. I want you to trust yourself and say, I'm going to go check it out. If I can just trigger something in you to say, oh shit, maybe there's something there. That's it. I done my job. But this is not what our education is anymore. So it makes sense that the more a woman spend time in school, the more she's being told that she doesn't need a man, because that's pretty much the message that we see right now in academia, both in Canada and the US. So it's easier for me to believe that it's easy for her to just say, you know what? I don't need a man. So to me, it makes sense. Now, is it a problem? Obviously it's a problem. Obviously it's a fucking problem that needs to be addressed, but
I think,
right.
Yeah.
But I don't think the divorce rate is a problem between the left and the right. I think the divorce rate is mostly
educated and not educated.
Nope. Do you believe in God or not? Because at the end of the day, a marriage, the typical way we see marriages in a Judeo-Christian world, that is North America, on which it was based, it's when I married my wife, I was telling that to my wife. I'm like, I don't really care about marrying you, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to love you more. That's not going to mean that I'm going to stay with you longer, because I'm not going anywhere. But the reason I married...
Pulled it out of there. That sentence
but the reason...
bad.
But I'm always very honest with my wife, bro. I'm not... The way you see me on camera, I'm worse in real life. I try to tone myself down on camera, or else I could never say anything. But me getting married with my wife was something that I did in front of my God. I swore in front of my God that I will stay with my wife no matter what, because she is the one I chose for the rest of my life. This is not a promise I only made to my wife. First and foremost, I made that promise to God. So I'm held accountable to respect my word towards him even more than I am towards her. I'm pointing there because she normally is sitting there.
How many marriages you think lead to divorce because of adultery? Which, by the way, even under biblical terms, is the exception to putting away your wife or husband.
I think a lot. But like it's even a little bit like
it takes an educated woman to stay with a cheating motherfucker, right? Come on. Well, I mean,
it's a weird stat
but it's not.
There's lots of relationships that will have adultery in it that the adultery isn't necessarily the cause of the divorce, right? Like maybe that was the final straw, but there was just an unhappy marriage or what happened.
And if you look at it, that is not the number one reason why people actually get divorced. If you really want to know, it's money.
I'm going through the
It's
list. I'm going through the
But
list.
it's normally money, cheating, and especially the way the woman feels. She does not feel loved. Because think about it this way, psychologically speaking, a woman, if a man cheats on a woman, it's not as, and I'm not saying that it's not as bad morally. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a difference in mentality when a man cheats and when a woman cheats. And I will explain to you what the difference is.
And every guy knows this.
It better be good.
Every man knows this.
No, but
you cannot have this conversation with women.
A man will cheat out of a physical need. It does. I could sleep with 100 women between now and 2 days from now and not give a shit about them. Never have any emotion or emotional attachments to them. When a woman cheats, this is scary because she normally feels neglected. Normally, women need to have an actual emotional attachment to them. And that doesn't mean they need to love them. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they need to feel something. If I see a hot woman and I want to fuck, guess what I did in the past? I fucked. That's it. I did not give a fuck. I was not nice to women in my past. Let's be honest here. But the difference in cheating is massive between the two. If a woman is at a point where she's cheating on you in your marriage, you know that she does not feel needed. She feels neglected. She doesn't feel appreciated. So this is the thing, right? This is why it's, as per psychologists, it's one of the main reasons why women, because if we understand 70 to 90% of marriages end up in divorce, that means that it's mostly on the woman's side as to what's going wrong because they're the one doing it. Men, we can continue doing whatever the fuck we're doing as long as we think we're doing the right thing, providing and doing what we're supposed to do. However bad it is,
that's why a woman divorces your ass.
I think another way to put that to what you're saying, and I've said this to girlfriends in the past, and it didn't go over well. But if men can cheat, and it doesn't necessarily mean there's a big problem in the relationship just because of how we're wired. But if a woman cheats, it almost always points to a major problem in the relationship. Doesn't mean it's any morally less or more. It's not any worse or better when men do it. I'm just saying this is just the psychology of men. And I just wanted to add one final thing to this topic here.
That's what you've been saying for 30 minutes. Let's just add one more thing.
Well, yeah. And that was, I added one thing to the last topic and one thing to the other topic and one thing to this topic. One more thing. No, it's what you were saying where and I think if we're talking divorce rates, it's definitely a complex problem with multifaceted factors going into it, but I at the end, I think a large part of it is there's certainly a religious component, as you said. A lot of it is messaging. The whole woman doesn't need a man, #girl boss, that whole thing, and that's a big thing too. And I think the messaging needs to change on that because there's nothing wrong with saying a woman need men, and the message should be we need each other. Men need women. Women need men. We are partners in this. We are all in it together. And men bring certain things to the table that women just cannot do or do not bring. And women bring things to the table that men do not bring. And that's the way we need to look at it. We need to look at each other as partners in this thing and not competitors and certainly not enemies.
I'll give every man out there a piece of advice on how to keep a good marriage. All right. I am happy. I got the hot girl from Harvard who plays 3 different sports. I got a kid with blonde hair and blue eyes. My girl does 3 sit-ups and everybody looks at her and they decide they hate her. Okay. So here's my advice to all men. These are 4 words that are going to say that are not only going to keep your marriage and sustain a relationship, but it might be red panty night. Is everybody listening? Comment section. Everybody listening? Those 4 words are, I ain't going nowhere. Because 2 reasons. When a man says, I ain't going nowhere, he says he has what he has and it's all he needs. He doesn't need anything else, right? That's the first reason. And the second reason, when a man says, I ain't going nowhere, that means he actually thought about going somewhere. He had options and still chose.
And he chose. I like that.
The most attractive thing, you want to keep a woman for life, the only thing she asks is your loyalty. right? Like there are certain women who are bed.
We're talking a good girl, right? Like
Yeah,
like
look,
like a
yeah,
good
I'm not
deal.
even talking about bread winning, right? Like I worked at Wild Cornell. I got a pretty good pension. I make good money coaching. I make more money talking about volleyball than people playing. But my wife, the money my wife makes, like if I was not comfortable on my
That's
own,
Hermosa Beach money, eh?
yeah, like the money
Yeah.
they pay you to talk about money, that's some criminal shit, you know. But when a guy says, "I ain't going nowhere,"
I agree with that.
red panty night, baby,
I
she's
agree
gonna
with
be
that.
like, "Yo, I think." Wow.
Yeah. It's
Am I-
security,
am I
right? It's
wet?
security. I'm
Yep.
stuck with you.
But
You're stuck with me.
That's
We
all
ain't
they
going
want.
nowhere.
but
Nico's
there's
got
a massive,
all she wants is
massive,
Nico's loyalty.
but there's a massive, massive caveat to what you said. This is the ender stage. The real where it starts is men need to understand that choosing a woman is the most important decision they'll ever take in their lives. The woman that you choose, bro, as a dude in today's society, we don't have as many rights as women do. They have the power to demolish you. They have the power to take your kids away from you. They have the power to ruin you financially, emotionally. So got to be careful. Choose a woman that her values align with yours. And I've said this so many times on other podcasts. If you're on a date, on a first date with a woman, the only question that matters is ask her to tell you a happy moment that she spent with her father and judge her reaction. If she gets upset, she gets pissed off, and she's irritated, she can't name one, pay the bill, get the fuck out of there, because that woman did not make peace with her past. And the way that she no, but men need to understand that women, their first love is their fathers. So no matter if they're there or not, it will say something. No matter if they were good or not, it will say something. But it's still up to them to do the work, because nobody's perfect. My parents weren't perfect, but as much as my dad wasn't there, I'm not pissed off at him. I understand it is what it is. But as much as I don't get along with my mother, that doesn't dictate my relationship with my wife, because I made peace with that. So that's why if you find a woman that cannot name one single good interaction that she had with her father and gets irritated, pay the bill, get the fuck out of there. This is literally what you call daddy issues. If she gets emotional, she describes something, bro, maybe you found a woman that has done the work. Because obviously we're all going to fuck up as parents. We're all going to make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But the point is that men need to understand that the most important decision they'll ever take in their life is choosing the right woman, having kids with
the door test. The door test, kid. The door test. For any of you that saw the movie Bronx Tale, it's the door test.
So
I haven't actually seen that.
Okay. We'll move on. You guys look up Bronx Tale later.
All right, we'll do that.
So let's start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 videos, 1 hour.
We're into it.
This is a record. So first one is just as it says at the bottom. Let's listen to this video and tell me, did Trump endorse Mark Carney?
Make them more hostile to us and possibly
I'd rather deal with a liberal than a
for
conservative.
China closer to Canada, and that would really put us in a bind.
The conservative that's running is stupidly no friend of mine. I don't know him, but he said negative things. So when he says negative things, I couldn't care less. I think it's easier to deal actually with a liberal.
So what did Trump just say? Did Trump just endorse did Trump just endorse Mark Carney?
No, I think I think what we're looking at is a case of 6 of one, half dozen of the other. What he did is he ripped Polyev, and if that comes off as a endorsement of Carney, I guess maybe you could, if you look at it as a horse race, yes, Polyev is behind Carney now, but what strikes me is funny. He doesn't even know either of these motherfuckers' names. He doesn't give two shits. Like he's not even interested whatsoever in Canada. But he just knows Polyev said shit about him. And this is what we've talked about this. Like, you need to know who you're dealing with. Donald Trump deals in the personal. You can't, and this is why it's so stupid for Carney to jet set off to Europe and backslap with Zelensky, because yeah, that's a normal thing for a prime minister to do, but you also need to understand the context of what's going on here. And Donald Trump will take that personally. And yeah, you can complain about how stupid that is, how thin-skinned he is, how petty he is, and he is all of those things. But the fact is, there's nothing you can do about that. So we got to live in that reality.
Jason, what do you think? Did that sound like an endorsement one way or another?
I think it sounded like an endorsement in the sense that Trump knows the distinction between what a liberal is and who liberals that are part of the Democratic establishment in the United States of America. If I'll remind everybody, he has a chronological pattern of working with liberals, right? His intel chief is Tulsi Gabbard, who still supports same-sex marriage and Medicare for all. His nutrition secretary, RFK, right, went through the ringer in the confirmation hearings. And okay, I'll move on. Elon Musk, who voted for Joe Biden in 2020, still has a lot of liberal values. These people in the America thinks because you vote conservative, you are conservative. Joe Rogan, everyone says this right-wing podcaster, but I challenge everybody to name more than one thing, one stance, political stance where Joe Rogan leans right. So when Trump says it's easier to deal with a liberal, he was talking about a certain person in the classic sense of the definition, liberal, not control freak.
So the reason I bring this up is this is Pierre Poilievre. This is the conservative that stupidly does not like Trump. This is the guy Trump was referring to. And he's the one that posted that. He's basically saying last night, President Donald Trump endorsed Mark Carney. Why? Because as Trump said, he's easier to deal with and knows that I will be a tough negotiator and always put Canada first. And he goes on a rant and he destroys Mark Carney because that's all Poilievre is doing today is just attacking.
He
and
thinks Trump gives a fuck too.
Scroll down. I'm sure you commented. Oh yeah, there it is.
Of course I did.
I know you jumped on there.
Read that for me. Can you read that for me? My screen's a little small. Can you read that for me?
Because this is me, right? Every time politicians talk, I go on their posts and I'm like, I call them out. So that's basically what I told.
I get so many politicians on my feed because right under it is Nico's comment and it comes up on my feed.
So basically what I told Pierre Poilievre. But what's funny is that it's been liked about almost 100 times. It's been reshared 15 times. They almost have 2,000 views on my comment. That's not even my comment. It's my comment on somebody else's post. Basically, what I told him is, as much as I dislike Mark Carney and think he will be even worse for Canada than Justin Trudeau was, this wasn't him endorsing Carney. He just doesn't like you and will not deal with people he doesn't have to deal with. And it gets worse for you as Canadians are starting to see that you are a flip-flopper and will say or do whatever is popular. By wanting dollar-for-dollar tariffs and using the proceeds to implement the UBI scheme, you are forming a uni-party with the Liberals and the NDP. The opposition party is supposed to oppose the party in power, yet there you are agreeing with them. You, sir, are not a strong leader.
Yes. And Nico, it's because Trump, just like him, he trusts people's action more than he trusts people's rhetoric, right? Like if Trump is against same-sex marriage, why would he have why would he host a same-sex marriage on the weekend before the election? That's like a political that's like asking for trouble because he doesn't give a fuck. If Trump doesn't like black people, why did he sign a bill and for $2.1 billion to support historically black colleges, right? I mean, we're talking about words and actions. So Trump like, okay, this guy's talks a little shit, but you know what? His actions are saying something different, and that's why I consider it not a full-throated endorsement. But if you put a gun to my head, yes or no, I go yes, but not. But if you went out of that false dichotomy, that's
perhaps an indirect endorsement, not because it's anything to do with Carney. It's because he's hating on Poilievre.
He's digging at Pierre Poilievre, and you know one thing,
he doesn't even know Carney's name.
No. One of the things that I gotta give Carney, I will give credit where credit is due, as much as I dislike the man. He's been always very smart not to attack Trump directly. If you notice, he talks about our southern ally or the peoples to the south of us. He does not talk about Trump directly. He talks about, they've been attacking us with tariffs. Very smart in the way. He's not saying Trump has attacked. No. He's always very careful not to use the word Americans and Trump. While Pierre Poilievre has shut his mouth saying that he didn't like Trump. He's not MAGA. He's made fun of Trump directly. And Trump is pity. He's a pity, egotistical person. If you don't brush his ego in the right way, you'll fucking know, because he will tell you. As you said, Rob, he likes to attack people personally. And Pierre Poilievre made the mistake of attacking him personally, and he knows about it. He doesn't know what the fuck his name is.
Yeah, he doesn't know who he is.
He knows that there's a conservative in Canada.
That's the worst dig he could do. He's like, this guy's not even important enough to remember.
He's not
name.
Stupid. He knows exactly who they are, but he's not going to acknowledge it. So it's very funny that that's a conservative that is like, oh, she's endorsing Carney because I'm a strong leader. Yeah, bro, bitch, please.
Yeah,
bitch,
that's what he's trying to. That's
please.
what he's going for. That's what he's going for sure.
Did you see the thumbnail? That's why if you go see the thumbnails, that's why I put little crises under his eyes.
Yeah,
did you see a thumbnail, Jason?
I did. It looked like the Crimea River song.
But that's exactly right. That's exactly right. But can we agree that this was not an endorsement of Carney, but
Definitely
more a dig at Pierre Poilievre saying, hey, bro, I heard you and you can go fuck yourself. That's basically what Trump just said.
Well, I said yes, but there are so many reasons. No, you're not going to get a fight from me. Nope.
Well, I mean, put it this way: it may have the effect of an endorsement of Carney, but it was not.
That's why I'm like, this ain't. My yes is not a hill. I'm gonna fight anybody.
Yeah.
Nope. That's too much smoke for something that is too broad a question. You know.
Agreed. Hey, before we go here, Bernadette is saying Carney's a weakness. Jesus.
Weakness is easier.
I'm like, did I read that right? Carney is a weakness is easier to deal with. You know what? I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure. I think they're both weak. No matter what, they're both weak leaders in a way that they don't care about the people that they represent. And leaders are supposed to put the people that they lead before themselves, and both of them don't give a fuck about us.
And if that was deliberately sentenced like that, that was genius. That was actually like we gave it a second look, but I'm like, no, that was actually clever.
Actually, if I look at her comment, it's the first time I see comments from Bernadette. So
good to see you there, Bernadette. Yeah,
but I'm scrolling through her comments and they're well written. So I will assume that she is a smart woman. So I think it was a dig. It was a clever dig.
She fits in.
Yeah, fly over like a go give an ear.
You know, on the same the next two videos are on the same train of thoughts. And the second one is, again, it's the same liberals that Pierre Poilievre is the Conservative Party leader in Canada. So he's supposed to be a conservative, a stoic man, which obviously he lives in his emotions and lies in his head. But this is another one that liberals are going crazy about, because now they're saying that Trump has called Canada nasty. Listen to this.
Than you are with some of our biggest adversaries.
Only because it's meant to be our 51st state. And but listen to this for a second.
We need their territory. They have territorial advantage. We're not going to let them get close to China.
Look, I deal with every country, indirectly or directly. One of the nastiest countries to deal with is Canada. The people now this was Trudeau, the people that good old Justin, I call him Governor Trudeau, his people were nasty. And they weren't telling the truth. They never told the truth. You know that, they'd say, well, we don't charge. Well, they do. They charge tremendous. And
so what did Trump say? Did Trump call Canada nasty?
Do you want to go first, or should I?
You got this. This one's shooting fish.
I just want to wash my hands of this fucking liberal bullshit, okay? And as a liberal, I have to say it like this: you did it again. You took certain words and you decided to dice and splice them to use them as a straw man fallacy. And at least straw man fallacies are sometimes true. The way they phrase this and what he actually said in the sentence and structure in its entirety, I'll be so brave as to say polar opposites. Yeah. He's not saying all Canadians are nasty, no more than he was saying all Mexicans are rapists. Okay, this is, or like all people at Charlottesville were nice people. And I don't know And again, I'm a guy who did not vote for Trump. I do not want Trump in office, but you motherfuckers are hurting the cause, because this does not work. This whole thing, we might suck, but we're not him. This existential threat thing has only worked 1 out of 3 times. And I will land with this by saying, here we go again.
Yeah. It's even more blatant than the Charlottesville thing. That one, you actually had to kind of watch it pretty closely to see that those were lies. But this, I mean, it's not, you could watch this out of the corner of your eye while watching fucking Saturday morning cartoons and figure out exactly what he's talking about. It's just, and they're doing it on purpose too. Like, all the Canadian media up here is just talking about how nasty Donald Trump says we are. And it's like you said, I mean, even as liberals, we're saying,
you
like,
have high hopes for your people. We're liberals. Look at Nico's laughing his fucking ass off, right? Because
we're saying that people who don't
particularly have such high hopes for our party.
Yeah, exactly. And people who don't particularly like Donald Trump.
And the funniest part, well, it's because, see, this is my X feed, right? And that's what's trending. So it's telling me explore. So obviously this is trending on my feed. So the people I follow, the people that follow me, they talk about this. The first 2 ones, Trump's Canada preference sparks political debate. This morning it was literally Trump endorses Carney. So the wording has changed.
Yeah.
But in the past 6 hours, there's more than 28,000 posts. And then Trump calls Canada nastiest country in Fox News interview. This is why I'm bringing that.
No, look at this guy over here in your
hold on.
Larry
but that is why. But if you look, this guy, I responded to this guy. I even made a video about him this morning. But basically, this guy by the name of Peter Ratcliffe said, Trump calls Canada nasty. He lies about us. We speak the truth back. He pushes us. We hold our ground. That's truly nasty talk to a political rapist like Trump. Trump was elected by the people of the U.S., mandated to rape the U.S., not the entire world or any other part of it. But this is the narrative that's being pushed by liberal. And I answered him. And I guarantee you, either he blocked me or he won't answer me. But I basically said, brother, if you listen to the video, what he said is simple. Trudeau was nasty to deal with. The liberals under Trudeau were nasty to deal with. He did not say that Canadians are nasty or that Canada as a whole is nasty. Dealing with Trudeau and his team, the liberals, was nasty. And it's funny because it's only liberals that are insulted by what he said. So basically, he did call you nasty. You, not me. You.
They're insulted because once again, the Democratic National Convention and establishment Democrats are doling out this stuff. And if people are just going by that source, we had this argument about fruit from a poisonous tree, right? So of course they're inferior to Democrats because they are going off of a set of things that are supposed to be given circumstances, which are not given. Which these are not. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like if it's reported on the news and if you use that as the foundation to present your argument, it's a house of cards. And I don't know how long people are going to let those cards stand up before someone just takes their finger and says, like, oh shit, I never knew. Right? Christ, educate yourself.
People are starting to push back, like Nico, as he said. Remember, they changed the headline of that article you're talking about. People are speaking out. I think to a certain extent, part of it is the media is slow to realize, like, oh shit, this stuff isn't working anymore. For sure, it still works for some people.
Ask their ratings.
Yeah, fellas, I gotta go take a quick use a bathroom break. I'll be back in a second.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna take some comments during this time. Either way,
cranberry juice, dude.
But but it's good for his periods.
I said it. It was such bait. You get the bait, man. I just went out there and I said, "Watch Nico fight this bait."
Of course, I did. You can't just open that door and not think I'm gonna. What's the guy? Fuck. What the Kool-Aid guy, you know, he blows through he blows through walls.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it.
yeah.
So
Let's say you,
Prairie is saying that he called Trudeau and his people nasty. Exactly. Prairie, I think it more like Trump called Trudeau out. That is exactly what he did, in the same way that he did not endorse Carney, but called out Pierre Poilievre. Memorino. What's going on? I saw one of your posts here. I don't know if you're a dude, if you're a woman, but thanks for joining us. I don't remember ever seeing your comments before, but welcome to the stream. Canada is nasty. Glad this Canadian does not live there anymore. You know, it's funny enough that I'm starting to feel the same way about a lot of Canadians, and I don't spend a lot. I spend most of my time or half of my time in the US, so I feel you, bro. Bro or bra or broti.
Broette.
Broette. I'm like, what's the actual term? Oh, sister.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying, because just the way they're responding to this is absolutely ludicrous, and the way that there's a lot of more liberals than there are conservative people in Canada, I can see why you think they're nasty, but that is not what Trump said. Tony is saying that I'm jealous at Marino. Yep. Well, bro, let's see where he lives. It depends where he lives or she lives. He called them out. Prairie said he called them out, Trudeau and his people. And then Marino is saying,
welcome.
Welcome. But are you a guy or a woman? Because I'll remember. No, I do, because if I address him as bro, I'm gonna try to be. See, the first time Prairie showed up,
fuck you.
I called her a bro.
The fuck you mean they?
Exactly. Exactly. So the first time Prairie showed up, I called him a man. She's like, but I'm like, oh shit, maybe I don't know. She's a woman, so I call her now.
Yeah. Can I give you guys
like that?
Can I give you another guys an example on how a lie was exposed? Trump, when Liz Cheney was talking about going to war with Ukraine or whatever, Trump says if she feels so strongly about it, she should grab a gun and then be on the opposite end of 9 people who have guns and see how she feels about it, right? And the story that came out the next day, the article was Trump wants Liz Cheney to be executed by firing squad. And it's and the article,
oh man, that's so bad.
And what he said, and listen, to us, it's ridiculous. It's obvious. But on election night, because I have a live party on election night, and there's a political commentator that was like, "Well, he did say that," and I said, "No, this is what he said." And even in the face of evidence, no, it means the same thing. And I'm like,
"No, it's not."
So, Nico, you get this one. I'll leave it with this. If I was ever sentenced to death by firing squad, but they gave me my own gun to shoot back,
it ain't the same thing.
Sweet. Tell me those guys in the firing squad are just gonna stand there straight up. Them motherfuckers are gonna be hiding. So, but that was my argument. Who in their comments says you can bring your own gun to a firing squad?
But it's clever though.
Shit.
But it's clever though. The person that thought about that headline is clever. Yeah. Talk about spinning words in a way that will clickbait and offend people.
Yeah,
like
we should not
brilliant.
A dying network any more rub than they deserve. They don't deserve it.
So
the only reason why they use is because people like
Memorino
saying, I was lucky I married an American, and I'm like, when I saw the comment, I'm like, you're still not telling me if you're a man or a woman.
Yeah,
that's still about. And then he's like, I'm a dude, LOL. So what up, bro?
Memorino. What's going on, bro?
I'm so happy because as Prairie will tell you, I hate women. So I'm so happy that you're a man.
Yeah. I mean, that's common knowledge around here.
It is.
So
why do you hate
Prairie
women?
is saying, yeah, I just do, man. I have no reason. I just do. Prairie is saying the media spin is so obvious, and it's disgusting how many people will regurgitate this narrative. Yet, if you understand, as we were talking about earlier, that the education system is all about regurgitating, it is not surprising that people read a headline, get offended, and don't do their own fucking research.
Well, and there's numbers to back that up. Something like 80% of people just read headlines, right? And they know that. The media understands that, right? So they do all their quote unquote reporting in the headlines. That's the
Joe
narrative.
Rogan should have fucked. You know what? Rogan actually sued somebody once because Rogan doesn't care. He just like posts and ghosts. He doesn't give a fuck. But there's certain things that get his attention, like the ivermectin thing. Like y'all not a horse or whatever. But I'll do one better. MSNBC actually came out with a headline saying he's endorsing Harris and picked Harris to win. And they doctored a video saying she's a woman of color. She's going to win. Yep. She's absolutely going to win. But the actual real video, it was not from 2024 endorsing Harris. It's from 2019. And he was talking about Tulsi Gabbard. So they took the clip and had Harris, and she's going to win. She's powerful. She's a woman of color. You know what I'm saying? She's loved and all that stuff. And I'm like, MSNBC, a major network on cable, which, by the way, can't be canceled for lying, right? Yeah. Landed with this story. Nobody got fired. Nobody apologized. And Rogan, he had someone on his podcast. He showed the video, and he did the comparative of the two videos. He's like, guys, I was talking about Tulsi Gabbard 5 years ago. And not Kamala Harris this year. Crazy. You know what a bunch of fucking liars, dude.
But what's impressive is that he didn't sue them, because he could have sued them for defamation. He would have won. I don't think he could be bothered. He's worth so much money now. He's just like, fuck you. And it doesn't go with his image. He's too like, he's more like a bro that's just
chill,
like,
free speech bro.
I'm gonna go do martial art. I'll hit the gym. I'll smoke a joint, and I'll talk to people for a living.
His best revenge is just keeping the podcast. His best revenge. Look, Joe's not a political guy. Like, go on his Spotify thing and look at his last 10 guests. I'll bet you 8 of them were comedians. Maybe one chick wants to come on and talk about fucking bees. I remember they talked about bees for 2 hours. And maybe like 3 out of every 100 is someone that wants to talk about politics. And 2 of those guys, like Dave Smith, those are comedians that are into politics. Jimmy Dore, right? So, sorry.
I'm going to talk about something I read this morning from Jason Lavigne. He posted a something behind the grapevine. Hasn't been confirmed or anything. It's just hearsay right now. But supposedly that there's rumors going around that Maxime Bernier is going to be on Joe Rogan's podcast.
I saw that. And that would be kind of cool.
That would destroy. That's going to go back to what we were saying. Imagine Donald Trump endorses Maxime Bernier. We didn't think about that one, because that's even more plausible. Trump endorsing Bernier is going to take a lot of work. Joe Rogan, to know who Maxime Bernier is, doesn't take a lot of work, because Joe Rogan is aware of what goes on. People tend to underestimate how much.
Who's leaking? What? Joe, who's leaking? Like, a lot of people don't know. The only person that everyone knew that was coming on his podcast a couple of days before was Trump. Joe keeps that shit tight. You're talking 2,300 episodes. Like, no one knew Fetterman was coming on. No one knew JD Vance was coming on.
Probably would have been Bernier's side then.
All I'm gonna say is that Jason Lavigne, the guy that we're talking about, is running for the party that Maxime Bernier is part of, and he said something in the past that he had insider knowledge because he's in politics. He was calling a few shots from different parties, saying what they would do, and motherfucker's been pretty fucking right. So it's like, I saw the post. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have shared this. If it wasn't,
he doesn't
Jason,
strike me as someone who just puts bullshit out there. It'd be kind of cool though, from a personal perspective for us on this show. You know, we got last week we had Billboard Chris, and then a day later he's on the Tim Pool's show, and we had Maxime Bernier on here a few weeks ago, and then he goes on Rogan. So basically, they're all getting their start here, right here.
You have to go. You have to go through us.
That's the route, guys. We're the gatekeepers. We're the gatekeepers.
Maxine's part of is the People's Party or what?
Yeah, he's the leader of the. Yeah, but you know what's funny though is that I don't believe in coincidences, but you brought that up, and most of the videos, Jason's not seen any of the videos that I'm showing. And Rob hasn't seen the video. Most of the time, Rob knows what we're going to be talking about, but I don't show him the videos on purpose because I like the way he feels and he gets triggered easily. So I like to have a live reaction. But what's funny is that
motherfucker, you got both of us. That last
hey,
the worst because he knew how.
But you brought up Jason. You brought up Joe Rogan. And I swear to you, I make a list of all the videos and how in the order I'm going to play them and with little opinions and I need to remember. Look at what the next video is.
I'm friends with Canada again. We have to like, you know,
I'm down.
Rogan.
this is so
Love
ridiculous. I can't believe that there's like anti-American and anti-Canadian.
I'm glad you brought
sentiment
this one.
going on. It's the
I-
dumbest
Is there
fucking feud.
There it is.
That's nuts. Look at the water consumption.
Is there?
That's crazy. Right when
I
the
love on this
bathrooms
pod where
go.
if I say something, I got to be ready for you guys to fact check my ass.
Jamie's ready.
Is there anti-Canadian sentiment?
Yeah, there's a lot of idiots that now think that they're our fucking enemy.
Okay.
That why are we subsidizing Canada?
Right.
Well, how come they don't have their own military? Well, they don't. So let's just like deal with it as it is.
You know, Trudeau is out, right? He's leaving. I
Yeah,
feel
they
like
got a new guy who's
they have
just as bad.
Just as bad.
Same thing.
But
they got a new party. 150 people voted. Now they have a new guy running the country. But their whole election system is so different. They don't have like a specific time when they have elections, and so
they can call an election, and I think it happens within 3 weeks.
the whole thing is so crazy. And so I don't know what's happening with their politics, but I just want America and Canada to get along. I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's a good, as someone who's from Ann Arbor, Michigan, you know.
And I don't really think they should be our 51st state. There, I said it.
That you said it? It's on record.
It would be fun if it happened. It would be fun. I think Greenland's more accessible.
Yeah.
We could probably buy that.
Yeah.
If you want a 51st state, it's Greenland. Plus, if global warming is real because of all the digging and oil and all that shit, you know, it'd be good to have a cold spot to eventually warm up. You got to become friends with Canada again. We have to like.
See, this is the part I wanted to replay. Just the part like we need to get friends with Canada again.
Yeah, I saw that. And I like that he's talking like that because I do feel like that's probably the most common opinion on both sides of the border. We don't, you know, our leaders are going to be doing whatever they're doing, but I mean, we are culturally we're so similar to America. We really are that little brother type, and I think. You know, whatever else is going on with our politics, I think we really lose something if we lose that relationship on both sides of the border. Right? I think it's nice to have in global geopolitics where everything can switch in a moment, where you have that one neighbor that's always going to be there, right? That and I don't know. I like that. I like to hear him talk like that.
Obviously, there's a lot of things that he said that is inaccurate. There's not 150 people that voted for Mark Carney. That's not true. It's the thousands. It's more than 100,000 people.
He's being facetious.
Yeah, of course he is. But I just want to make sure that I fact check myself all the time, right? Before I say something. Same thing as his guest was saying that it takes 3 weeks to run an election. Again, that's not true. It's like 45 days or a bit over 45 days. I just want to make sure that I want people to be able to trust that the information we share is accurate. But the point of that video was simply to say that Joe's not there to call out people's bullshit. He's just saying we like Canadians and let's get along. And the only reason he says that he would love, like he's like, oh, I could see how I would like Canada to be in the US is because he's a hunter and we have way cooler shit to shoot at in the US. Well, Joe doesn't shoot. He's a bow hunter. But all to say, Joe is like, it'd be so much easier. I wouldn't have to cross a border. I could just go shoot shit up north and come back down to Austin afterwards. So
big up to the guy.
I just like the fact that he has the most popular podcast in the US, if not the world. And he's just saying, you know, can we just get along? So love, I like the fact that Memorino said, I can't stand Rogan Barfy with the little green Barfy dude. And you know what? You're right. I understand. I understand.
Where do you fit on the what's your politics?
I'll let you handle it.
I understand why he doesn't like you. I get it. I fully understand because he's a bro, and a lot of the times he doesn't fact check his guests. Guests say dumb shit on his show, and it's just if you put it into perspective that you're talking about a stone, you're talking about a weed head that's a comedian by trade that loves martial art. If you understand the psychology of a jiu-jitsu guy, those guys are potheads that like to torture people on the mat. On top of that, he's a fucking politician. You can't take most of the shit that comes out of his mouth seriously. But I just like the fact that he just wants Canadians in the US to get along because we normally do. And why wouldn't we?
The only reason, first of all, let's start with the Canada part, right? Joe Rogan's is about love and fellowship in a sense that there's no anti-Canada sentiment. There is, but that's about as much voter fraud as there was in 2020. Was there voted fraud in 2020? Yes. Enough to overturn an election? No. Is there anti-Canadian sentiment in the United States? Maybe. I actually haven't heard of one person that actually said they hated Canada.
I have.
In fact, in my wheelhouse,
me personally,
we love Canada so much. In my wheelhouse, volleyball, I had a guest, Theo Brunner, who got booed like every game. He enlisted a Canadian, and people stopped booing him. His beach partner was the guy named Kame Shock, who represented Canada in the Olympics, played with him for a year, and all the booing went down. So there's a love sentiment for Canada. Now in regards to Rogan, we need to stop making excuses for someone that doesn't owe anyone an explanation, right? Rogan is not there to bring you the news. He's there to have a conversation. Rogan is not there to tell you how to live your life. He's there to have a conversation. And if you think his questions have an agenda, then clearly you have not watched any of the 2,300 episodes. He's one of the only guys where his questions comes from a totally innocent place. And if he's biased about something like weed or whatever, he at least has the balls and the integrity to let you know up front, before you answer that question, here's why I am. He's just there to raise the question, and he's lucky, and we're lucky enough where he leaves it up to us, the audience, to answer the questions together. He is the man that told you do not come to him for political advice. He's the one that said, I'm a fucking moron. If you're coming to me for political advice, don't. He's said that multiple times. He said, you're looking for a comedian that's all jokes? Go to Dave Smith. That's my guy. He's a libertarian, whatever, this and that. And bro, man, true but not true. Right winger, again, the people, and I'll land by saying this: the people that have a problem with Joe Rogan's podcast are the ones that don't listen to the podcast. And I said this before, Rob. Besides the Second Amendment, right? He's UBI. He supports
all his positions. All his positions are left wing.
Same-sex marriage. He supports fucking Medicare for all. He said pay your fucking taxes. People are poor. And
go even further.
Poor with Ben Shapiro. He had a debate on black people in America with Ben Shapiro. Wipe the fucking floor with him. Joe Rogan, you're right winger. Congratulations.
But go even further. Like, I'm a big fan of psychedelics. It's not something that I normally openly talk about. But if you know Joe Rogan, big fan of DMT, big fan of ayahuasca, big fan of psilocybin. He is as a lefty as they get.
Oh, yeah.
But he's been moving closer to the middle recently. He even, like, but the thing I like about Rogan is he's open to receiving people he does not agree with. This is the number one thing I like about him.
You're not who you voted for. He voted for Trump. Does that make him a conservative? No. His values are the same.
You know,
and that's
Memorino,
that's an indictment on who the DNC is.
But this is my point, Memorino. Memorino saying, I've watched Rogan and he's still a pothead. Duh. That's why everything that he says, I always take it from a place where he's probably high as
high.
Oh yeah.
Don't go to him for your political information. Don't go to him in order to understand the world better.
Judges say thumbs up to your comment. You're going to Hollywood.
It's funny. I hear the left I hear the left a lot saying things like, "Oh, we need our own Joe Rogan," or "We need our own."
You already have one.
Like, motherfucker, you had him. It was Joe Rogan, and it's Elon Musk, and they said one thing you didn't agree with, or a couple, and you kicked them the fuck out. So
the guy loves Andrew Yang, wanted to support Andrew Yang, wanted to support Bernie Sanders, wanted to support Tulsi Gabbard, ended up voting for Joe Jurgensen because Joe Jurgensen vowed to get people out of jail who committed like weed crimes against themselves, smoking weeds. You know what I'm saying? So ended up 2020 he ended up voting for Joe Jurgensen. So this is
Polar Nights. Hold on. Go higher than that.
Oh, you want to start Tony G?
No, Derek Zimmerman, Joe Book, everybody himself. He doesn't leak information. Derek Zimmerman.
Right. He does his own.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
hold on, Jason. Jesus.
How about you shut up and I'll tell you who he is?
No, I'm saying Derek Zimmerman. Welcome to the show. I've never seen you before, so welcome to the show. It's not about you, Jason. It's about them.
I will tell you who it is.
Hold on. So, Derek. Great to have you on. And yes, I did mute Jason just to piss him off. But Derek Zimmerman is saying that Joe books everybody himself. He does not leak information. Welcome to the show, brother. Glad to have you on. Now you can go, Jason.
Do you want to know who he is or not?
I do.
I just wanted to say hi to him, man.
I know, but I said that for a reason. He's an AVP, a former AVP professional. He's awesome. He's an elite athlete.
So he came here,
and he lives close to you. He lives in Louisiana. He lives in NOLA.
You know,
Nice.
Derek, even if you were not a star in the past, even if you weren't awesome, I would still acknowledge you. Unlike Jason, I really don't care. I'm
He
happy
doesn't
that you're
men.
here.
He doesn't like women. It's women he doesn't like, Derek. He hates women so much. Dude.
Remember, I'm French. I'm French.
Tony,
Don't
Tony
forget it.
B says Joe Rogan has said it many times. He used to be left, and I would say he probably feels he hasn't changed at all. I would say he would say
the
the
left.
left him. That left
The
that
left,
moved.
left. The left,
Yep.
left.
Polar Knight, and this is actually our very first comment from Twitch. Nice to see you, Polar Knight. As a barber,
Hey-o!
moving on up, boys. As a barber, I love this show. It is every stage of beard growth from baby face to the manly beard. I assume you're talking about this show, the Political
Oh, that
Orphans.
is funny. No,
Thank
but
you for that.
Jason, I'm trying, and you just got. Hey, be careful, Polar Knights. Rob's not that quick, so
Yeah, it takes me a few seconds. It takes me a few
he
seconds.
did not. Okay,
yeah.
hold on.
I'm just here for the. I'm the eye
I'm
candy.
gonna help
I'm the
you.
eye candy. These two are the sharp
See,
ones.
No, hold on,
Oh,
hold
yeah.
on, hold on.
There we
There
go.
you go.
Nope.
Voyons, putain de merde. There you go.
Boom.
That's what he meant. I like how I can organize that. So,
Very nice.
baby,
Clean to boom.
baby, teenager, men. That's basically what he's saying.
That's right.
Yeah,
Thanks for the
awesome.
comment, Polar Knights. Hopefully you stick around. We love we love to get the engagement. Derek says hello and haha. Derek, same thing. Hopefully you stick around. It's nice to see so many new faces here today.
Yeah, that's
And-
the podcast, guys. You guys are fucking moving.
And you know
moving
what's
and
funny,
shaking.
man? Again, no coincidences, but you said something that you know, Joe Rogan, like the left is complaining that they don't have a Joe Rogan, yet they used to have him. And I
Rogan.
don't think he moved, right? He just the left went so far left that
Yeah.
somehow Joe Rogan's in the middle now. But he is not. Like if you look at if you listen to him, he's a leftist. But what's funny is that this is the perfect fucking segue to the next topic. Man, this is just fucking flowing.
It's everything's lining up. It's fate. boys.
Here is, and this is your topic. I'm gonna let you address it first there, homo boy, since it comes from you. And I like how he knows exactly what I'm talking about. If he didn't answer, you idiot, don't answer that.
Got him.
Yeah, got him. But Jason's
On that-
just leaving. I'm leaving.
Actually, on that
Oh.
note, all right, he will start here. Remind me to tell you a joke at the end of the show. All
This
right. So yeah,
is what I'm referring to. So
yeah.
for
So
it,
so I'll describe this. So if anyone is familiar with Harry Sisson, he's that baby faced, you know, sort of homo looking kind of 21-year-old Democratic influencer. I think when this came out yesterday, this is his Me Too moment. Apparently, I think
This is him.
The broad reaction was that guy's straight, but apparently he is. And it turns out that the Zoomers are trying to have their own Me Too moment here. And I mean, this is a whole big thread. This one by Sarah Fields. This is what, but it's sort of caught the internet on fire for a little bit. It's kind of the interesting litmus test here for how you feel. But the gist of it is, it was like 11 women that he was talking to. And I kept scanning, looking for like, you know, abuse or predatory behavior, because that's what we were told. And it ends up being the guy was talking to 11 different girls. He told them he was not talking to any other girls and was soliciting, you know, they were sexting. They were doing what people do these days, sending nudes to each other. And then they found out that they're seeing he was seeing them all, and that is it. And this is now being played up as, you know, the big Me Too moment here for the Zoomers. And Harry Sisson is in the process of being canceled. I'm not sure if they'll succeed. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy's an absolute fucking knob, and nothing. I don't give two shits about anything he has to say about politics. However, it's an interesting sort of piece of the zeitgeist about where we are here now. What it kind of struck me is like, there's got to be some accountability. I mean, you know, Me Too or not, like, for sure. We can all agree. Genuine predatory behavior. There was definitely a need for a Me Too moment back when it happened in 2016. Now, if it went too far, that's the debate for another show. But this strikes me as just utterly silly, and I hope this is not the way that this debate goes down, because if we just start, I mean, tell me, basically, he's a 21-year-old boy doing 21-year-old boy things. If we start framing that absolutely typical human behavior as predatory or cancelable, I think we're going down a road that doesn't benefit anybody, least of all genuine victims of sexual assault, harassment, actual predatory behavior, because it's kind of like if everything is predatory behavior, then nothing is. And there has to be some accountability for the women here, because there was no allegations of coercion. There was no even manipulation, just a guy running game, and apparently it was successful. He wasn't sharing the nudes that they sent him or anything like that. It was just that he lied to them. He was talking to other girls, and they didn't like that, and that is now being billed as predatory behavior. The fact that they willingly sent pictures of themselves to this babyface twat is apparently not relevant. It's just, and I wanted to bring it up because I thought it was like, I don't know if we want to go down this road.
Nico, you have something to say.
No, but it's funny because I found a picture and it says it's a copy of the text, and obviously even that looks absolutely, as much as I don't agree with those type of texts, there's nothing wrong. He didn't say anything that she didn't get offended. So Harry says, damn, you're sexy. Me, the woman, the face of this complaint is basically, psst, stop, winky face, don't. And then he's like, I'd fuck you raw after wine tasting. That's a very strange comment. But
Very
that's
weird.
just
Wow. Shit.
like that tells you how gay he is. I'm gonna fuck you after drinking wine, baby. But
After I have my white wine spritzer, I'm gonna fuck
I'm
you.
gonna fuck you raw. But it's
But it's
just
like, that's
funny.
That's normal
But
behavior, guys.
But here's the thing: it's normal behavior in the society in which we live. It is not.
Yeah, I shouldn't say
behavior
normal.
to do this.
It's still,
That's why-
douchebaggy for sure.
Yes,
But predatory.
But the point in the matter is that none of those women did they were not coerced, they were not forced to do anything wrong, and yet they just treat him like he's the bad person. Yet, how many times have women have asked me for nudes? And I know that they weren't just asking me, motherfucker. They had a bunch of other dudes that they were asking the same thing. So don't give me this shit that this is a man being a predator. Women today do the same fucking thing. And one thing I guarantee you, it's a lot easier for women to get nudes from men than it is from men to get nudes from women. So don't give me this shit. And, I would go even further than that. If you're offended by all of this and you actually send those nudes, do you realize that those nudes wouldn't exist if you didn't fucking take them?
Yeah, there's got
It's
to be
on
some
you.
accountability.
This is 100% on you. One of the last conversation I had with my sister years ago. Do you remember years ago there was this there's a dude that had hijacked or infiltrated a bunch of celebrities' cell phone. Like he had found the nudes and he had dropped them on the internet.
Fappening, they called it. The fappening.
I couldn't remember what it was called, but there you go. Rob knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Hey, brother, I got my ear to the street.
No, you use them.
No, yeah,
Sorry,
Mom,
but
there was fappening at the fappening for sure. No, not literally, of course.
No, I'm sure, of course not. Of course not.
Of course.
All I'm gonna say is, if you remember, the girl that played in the Harry Potter movie, the old British girl, like she looks like a little kid, like she's super.
Emma Watson.
Emma Watson, that's her.
Yeah.
She went on camera and she was like, "Those men need to be held responsible. Not the men that hacked her, because that I agree, they should be held accountable. That's illegal." But she was saying that the men that are watching this, they need to be held accountable. They're this, they're that, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, "Hey, bitch, if you didn't take those pictures, they wouldn't exist."
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
That's the risk. That is the risk.
That's accountability. And this is the part that when you talked about this morning, when you sent me this, I'm like, here we go again. It's always the man's fault
Yeah.
For what? What did he do? She could have said no, fuck you. But you look at the message, even her, she's like, oh no, please stop. No, no, please stop, but please don't stop at the same time.
And he's a good victim because we all hate him, right? This has nothing to do with this guy. He's a giant twat. It's about the broader
tell us
principle.
how you really feel, bro. But he is the
broader
perfect,
principle.
but he is the poster boy for the woke left. And now even the woke left don't want him.
They're turning on him.
This is when you sent me this. What was the text? Hold on. I'm gonna read what you told me. When you sent me this, I'm like, ha ha ha. The left is eating itself. Lol. You love to see it. I fucking do, because this is hilarious.
Well, that's what happens when you have insane purity tests. So much of like left-wing thought completely does not take into account basic human behavior, right? Like, is this boorish behavior? Is he being a bit of an asshole? Of course he is. And if I was his father, I would probably say, hey, man, you
can I see those pictures? I mean, no, you can't treat women.
But you can't treat women like that. But there's no case here where this is predatory behavior. There's no scenario where men and women are assholes every single day all over the world. There's lots of both to go around. To make this into another battle in the war between the sexes, I think is too far. Jason, you've been quiet.
Come on. But look at this guy. What did you expect? Like, look at him. Shit, what the? Like, look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Yeah, I was.
Are you really surprised? I'm surprised he's able to pull women. That's more surprising than anything else.
On the other hand, I'm sure he makes good money. That he's a name.
He has like, hey, bro. Did you not see the post you sent me? It mentions that he has 2 million followers, and that's currency, bro.
That's
that
enough,
right
man.
there.
That is enough. Yeah.
In today's world, if you approach a woman and she asks you how many Instagram followers you have and you don't have enough, you're not compatible, bro. Jason, what the fuck is wrong? Oh, hey. Hello. He's so dreamy. So dreamy.
Is my mic?
Now you're.
I'm so sorry. I hurt your feelings. You know what, Jason? Fuck off. There you go. Yes, it's fucking muted. Let's take some comments. I'm just kidding.
No, let's hear Jason's take, and then there are some comments.
You can mute my mic, but my silence will say it all. My silence has said more than everything you've ever said on this ridiculous, asinine human being. I'd like to start from a humorous perspective.
Okay.
He needs to learn something from this podcast. Sisson, tell people that just because you had one dick doesn't mean you're gay, right? Yeah, it was just one dick. If he's anyone that's ever watched this podcast, you just know, okay? It doesn't count.
No. It's the other way around. It's not because you've had one vagina that you're not gay.
We need to mute your mic.
In his
Got
I'm like, fuck, did he mute me?
Got him.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh, Nico.
I actually thought you muted me. I'm looking. I'm like, son of a bitch.
All right,
Jason. It's your brother.
On a more humorous note, before I dispense the humor and be a fucking player hater and ruin everyone's morning, Nico's right. The woke eats their own, and they start eating the young. They start by eating the young. So once you start with this slippery slope, oh, this guy sent inappropriate text, or this guy, whatever, right? When actual rape happens and when actual stuff happens, it becomes 10 times big unless it happens to their own. So what's going to happen if you so much as say hi to a girl across the street? That's going to be a canceling moment, because when there's nothing else to eat, you're going to be starved, and you're going to be cannibalistic, and because they think eating gifted children raises your IQ, it's only a matter of time before they got to this fucking whatever the fuck this flay is. Now, on a more serious note, this is something Nico said: sexting, dick picking, showing pictures of your fucking body. This smart generation, as far as like protest and demonstration and being like smart, like the right wing has an upcoming intelligent young base, liberals too sometimes maybe. Have you learned nothing? Have you learned nothing about pictures that come back and bite you in the ass. This is the post-information age. Have you learned nothing from your predecessors? Have you learned nothing from Anthony Weiner, who actually had a really good shot at doing good things in politics, but Anthony Weiner was true to his fucking name, all right? Have you learned nothing that slippery slopes come back full circle? Guys, Me Too was probably the first time mentioned on this podcast, but the last time you actually heard the term Me Too was before everybody brought up the name Tara Reid. Nico, please take this time and plug in Tara Reid for everybody. But Tara Reid was someone that got raped by Joe Biden. And this whole campaign of
YouTube
allegations.
No.
Those haven't been proven. Those are allegations. Jason does not know what he's talking about.
Type the name. But my point is, Believe the Woman Always was this huge trend from 16 to 19. And then before the election, this woman's name came out. Oh, this chick is crazy. This chick is this chick is that, right? And everybody stopped saying believe all women. Everybody said this whole Me Too thing was gone because this was a woman that worked in his administration. And when she got raped, or I'm not going to discuss the means on this podcast of how she got raped, but it was pretty gross. It was pretty nasty. And Biden finished saying, I thought this is what you wanted. She went through the chain of command on that staff, and they put her on absence and then let her go. Her mom went on Larry King Live. You could probably find an old YouTube video from 1993 and said, my daughter's going through something because a certain politician did this. So she wasn't some bimbo with big tits, right? That does porns that's saying, I like to be spanked and wanted to sue Trump because she got spanked. This is a woman who got raped and went through all the proper channels and didn't come pre-election. She's been saying this since 1993, and her voice has been silenced.
Well, the fact that I'm not even aware of her of her name is
Tara Reade, Tara Reid. You'll see a picture of her, right? And
that's now the actress, right? That's the actress that used
there is a Tara Reid.
Well,
that's
R-E-I-D.
R-E-I-D.
We were talking about.
No,
okay.
Yeah,
you were
that's the
talking
blonde one.
R-E-A-D-E.
Yeah, she was a bimbo. She always played the bimbo in movies.
Yeah. This Tara Reid was a staffer that worked for Biden when he was a senator in the early 90s. And everybody was like, she's lying. Oh, she's showing up the election at the 11th hour because there's an election. But she's been saying this since 93 before Biden hit the stage on a national level. That's her. She's had her house wired, has her house bugged by the FBI. She's had death threats. She ended up retreating to Russia to do a book tour, and all of her friends and her peers said, don't come back to the United States. They threatened her to not go back to the United States. So I really hate when everybody's talking about what are you men going to do? What are you men going to do? But then as soon as it happens to your political ideology,
then it's completely different.
Get rid of it. So I didn't want to be a player hater because this is actually a pretty humorous thing. But and in fact, the whole "I'll fuck you raw dog" was like, I was like, holy shit. That was like Mike Tyson saying, I'll fuck you till you love me. I'm like, shit. And someone's not here to talk about boxing, right?
What's fucked up about what you're saying is that it kind of explained that story, and I'm starting to wonder what's the picture he's showing him for him to smile like that. Like, I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm not gonna say it out loud.
Just caption that, just for fun. Caption that picture. What is he saying? Quote it. What's he saying? What's Biden saying?
He's saying raw dog, eh? I like it.
Yup. That is pretty much what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Damn.
My caption was, dude, you have to nuzzle first.
Nuzzle and sniff. Nuzzle and sniff.
Oh, no. Yeah.
All right, let's
the
get on
raw
some
comment makes so much sense now.
Let's get on some comments here. Derek Zimmerman, they got played and they don't like it. Not condoning the behavior, but they have to be accountable for their own actions. If you don't know someone good enough, then don't send nudes. That's
zing.
Yeah, I mean that's just common fucking sense. There has to be accountable. No one held a gun to these girls' heads. And I think what we're kind of talking about here is like, takes two to tango. Yes, this was boorish behavior on Harry Sisson's part, but there's got to be accountability Yeah, he's a boy. And these are adult females. They're young, yes, but they're 20, 21, 22. They have because I believe that women are, in equal rights, and that we should all be held to the same standards. I don't want to infantilize women and say, oh, well, they're just too dumb, or they're too easily manipulated, so they have to be protected in this way. They have to be protected from their own, from the consequences of their own behavior. And to me, if you genuinely believe that everyone should be treated equally in society, then you have to, just call balls and strikes. Call it where it is.
Nico? How stupid can people be, though?
No. But hold on. Here we go again. TikTok just banned the feed live on camera. It's the second time in 6 weeks.
Harry, oh
yeah. Oh no. It's okay. Look, I'm gonna submit appeal. I will do it live right now.
What is it? Was it terrorism?
That is for misinformation. They're not gonna tell me. I'm just gonna
for
submit.
Fuck's sake.
But the beautiful thing, no, but it's okay, because it's not the first time that social media cancels me, bans my account. But I have a team now. I have I have somebody. I'm part of a team on TikTok that actually goes to fight for me. So now I submit it. Last time it got repealed right away. But thank you, Jason. Thank you.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Someone and you would have been safe.
Oh, fuck yeah. We got boosted. We got to get boosted in the algorithm.
You can continue doing it now because I'm banned no matter what. So they ban the feed no matter what. So
we should try that as an experiment next time when you get back on. See if they do.
Yeah, let's do that with your account.
I bet you they will not. Well,
let's do that with your accounts, you ass.
Perry agrees with Derek. Exactly. The only account I have that's big.
Oh, bro, Jason, hold on, bro. Don't worry about it, man. I don't need help to get banned on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Believe me, I do that very well by myself.
It'll be fine.
Oh, bro, no, bro. I've been banned everywhere.
It's personal to me. Nico, look, I always say you hate women, but there's no three people that fucking exalt and worship and want to protect
Don't
women.
worry about it, man.
But right,
don't worry about it, bro.
There's people that want to protect women at all times.
This is
and who is here for this woman?
Is fucking hilarious.
Who's here
is
for
hilarious. Agreed.
Yeah, exactly.
Agreed.
Who is here for Tara Reid, right? Like that is ridiculous. I think it's obviously Nico's account, but I think you can tell he's cool with it.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't want to say no. It's cool, man. It's cool. It's cool, man. Nico's like, is it your account? Tony G. Some girls trying to excel at homework. Yeah, I think they just they want their minute in the sun. I mean, there's really no reason to go public with what is essentially just an interaction with a kind of a douchebag boy. Every single girl has it, just like every guy has an interaction with an asshole of a girl in their lives. Like, this is just, let's not pathologize absolutely normal human behavior, right? But when I say normal, I mean it's not crazy. Like, yes, he should be acting.
It's normal in a Democrat world. It is normal in the woke left world right now. It shouldn't be, but it's been normalized. Let's say that.
Prairie, she could have blocked him, but that is that they wanted that attention. They wanted that attention. Yes, they only had an issue when they
even in the text. It's like, oh, please stop, don't.
Oh yeah. Oh, raw dog after wine. Oh, Harry. Oh, yeah. Harry.
Plus raw wiener. Plus, it wouldn't have hurt anybody, like that little raw wiener. We all know that guy has a big clitoris. Now that I know my feed is off on TikTok, I can't get in any more trouble than I am right now. So it's not my
I should have said accused. I should have said accused of rape.
Yeah,
no, it's all right.
We shall see. We shall see.
I mean, we did just say it right after. I'm sure that'll probably.
We said believe all women, though, right? Didn't we just say believe all women?
Yeah.
What's going on, Steven?
Steven, I made it.
On, bro?
I made it.
Hey, bro. Since you're here, did you actually think that Harry was gay?
Harry Sisson makes me ashamed to be a gay man. Yeah,
that's why I'm asking. Did you think he was gay? Because Steven is gay, so that's why I'm asking. I'm not being an asshole here.
No,
it's just. So, did you think he was gay?
What's your gaydar say? Like when you see that guy, does it go off?
Does it go off?
Does it go off? Monsieur Memorino, he's gay. Gay. And Steven, they want all men to be passive and mousy, but when they are passive and mousy, nobody's attracted to them other than histrionic women with control issues. Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I say to my 16-year-old son all the time. I say, like, son, I said, you're going to get some messaging. Some women are going to tell you how you should behave. Don't listen to that. That is not what they actually want. Of course, you should always, treat women with respect and all of that. But like they're going to act like they want you to be a doormat, and that's the real masculinity, and that is not true. Don't go down that road.
One of my buddies that is really not a feminist, does not like feminists. He's like, who do you think they come to get fucked? Me.
Exactly. Yep.
It was awesome.
Yep. We should define feminists. Right. And he can move on with the actual definition. A feminist is somebody that advocates for equal rights for women. So all three of us.
And by that definition, all three of us.
It doesn't mean frumpy dyke, right? Or bra burning armpit hair chick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since we're off of TikTok. And by the way, that's okay on TikTok. You can accuse Trump of being
frumpy
Hitler.
dyke is cool.
You can accuse Trump of being Hitler, but you better not say Biden's a rapist.
Yeah.
Or even make any.
I don't even want to talk anymore.
No,
well, thanks again. Now you're gonna fuck up the YouTube channel on top of that. Thanks a lot, Jason. I'm just messing.
Well, you mean make the YouTube correction. Say Biden was accused of rape. He's totally innocent until proven guilty, right? And if you
alleged,
alleged. And if you believe he raped anyone, have a vaccine to sell you.
The fact that we always add that as a joke, right? Like we always like for YouTube purposes, but I feel like that actually probably will, when we get when there is an appeal there. The fact is, we said it was allegations. But the fact that you can't even talk about allegations, that's a problem to me.
I went too far. I didn't say he was alleged. I didn't say he was accused.
No, bro, don't worry about it.
I've said
so much worse on TikTok, and it'll be fine.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, people, like, it's alleged that Trump committed an insurrection.
But that's okay.
He wasn't charged with it. The guy wasn't actually never even charged with it, right? It's
yes.
Here I go again, sounding like a Republican, and I'm not. Jeez.
But yesterday, I had people commenting on a post that I made because I was talking about Trump. They were calling him a rapist. He's like, how the fuck can you endorse a known rapist? So it's okay on TikTok to call Trump a rapist, but clearly saying the same about Joe Biden, even if it's just alleged, is not correct.
And he sued ABC for that. And he was never charged with that. I mean, or never convicted of that. He sued ABC. ABC had to settle out of court because of that allegation. Something,
well, it's like one thing that we talk about a lot.
Video for saying
we just want consistency, right?
TikTok
want consistency.
took down one of my videos for saying the word midget.
So mid. You know what the trick is? That's what I use all the time because my mother-in-law is like 4'11". I call her midge. Because do you understand? But do you understand how funny that is? Midget, small. I made it even smaller by calling it midge, so it's even more of a rip. I'm just like, okay, midge. So, you want to take the last comments because I got one more video for you guys that was supposed to be the funny part, but I guess that
yes, sir.
There was plenty of funny.
Give it to me to fucking damage the mood.
There,
you did it, bro. Wow. I'm still smiling.
No, it's fine. Nothing said here was wrong information. Unbelievable. I mean, yeah, this happened to us once before too. What was the other one for, Nico? What did they? What did we
I think it's when I think it was for RFK. We're talking
RFK,
about something.
Right. Talking about
we were talking against Fauci, and we got in trouble.
Tony G. I'm still locked out of my X account. Really, X account? That's interesting. Was that recent? Because X is kind of the one platform that really seems to be value free speech. Steven says leftists have a pathological need for power, and since they cannot exert power over us anymore, they turn to exert it over each other instead. That is exactly correct.
God damn, we got some smart fucking listeners.
Yeah, that's excellent. That is exactly what Jason was saying, right? You're a cannibal. You got no one left to eat. You're going to eat yourself soon, or your own tribe. Yeah, starting with the young, because that's what it's always about. And I'm even as a liberal, as a left-leaning person, I see that, right? I can see that it's about control, and that's and I assume, Jason's on the same page as me with that. That is why, yes, we are still liberals. Oh, appeal approved. Well, that was fast.
Just so you don't feel. Yeah, that's what she said. Just for you, Jason, the appeal. It is really just that they heard. There's a term somewhere. Biden and rapists, they came together, or Tara Reid, Biden came up and. But you're good, bro. It's been the appeal's been approved. We're good. You don't
God
need
is good, man. God is good.
Yes.
You don't need to masturbate with your tears tonight.
No. Save those
just
tears.
tonight, though.
Because I'm not doing it now.
It's a guy from CNN.
It's like, all right, motherfuckers.
Jeffrey Tubin.
You're really testing us now, motherfucker.
So,
Steven. No, I just don't like him.
Go ahead, Nico.
Take the two last one. Tony G saying that Trudeau is the epitome of feminism. He is actually a feminist, and we talked about that yesterday. It's just a matter of time before he comes out as gay. Just a matter of time.
Do you think?
Oh, I don't think. I know.
All right, we'll see.
And Tony G's it's been a week.
It's been
probably
a hell of a
referring.
week.
No, referring to him getting banned.
Yeah. Well, if you don't mind, what topic were you talking about, Tony?
Yeah, and was it pre-Twitter files?
No,
it
it's
sounds
a week
like
ago.
it was recent. Very interesting.
Week ago. All I'm gonna say, Derek, it's maybe because you were sharing dick pics,
which is legal,
Tony?
Which is okay on Twitter.
Actually, you're right. It's actually probably
wild,
right,
man.
So sorry, Tony. It's not even that.
Wild.
I have a porn star following me. I only have like 30 followers, and one is a porn star.
Have you ever seen? You've seen Ted, the movie with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
With the, do you remember what they see? You're only 2 clicks away from a black cock. Wherever you are, you're 2 clicks away from a black cock. So there you go.
People coming home from church like, oh, good Lord.
Oh no, good Lord, a black cock.
Oh, good
Lord. Oh Jesus!
Okay, one more.
Where else are you gonna get it? But this show,
you're not getting this type of entertainment anywhere else. One more video. We're gonna leave you at this. We'll take the time to talk about it. But I saw this morning, and yeah.
All right.
You're gonna have to
fight it. This
I think I could kick most of their ass. I do think that if they wanted to. I know I can run them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
So basically, this morning I woke up to a video of Tim Walz saying to Gavin Newsom that he could kick the ass of most Republicans out there. You should see the invitations. Are like, bro, come at me. I live at this address. Just come in. They're not small people. Like but fucking Tim Walz can't even fucking load a 12 gauge, and he's gonna kick anybody's ass. You're short, fat, and think that men needs tampons, bitch. Please,
Timmy Tampon.
Yeah, Timmy Tampon, bitch. Fucking Timmy please.
May I?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
You
go ahead.
You
Jason.
can because the live is down.
Yeah,
I haven't restarted the live. So if you're gonna say something about Timmy Tampon,
I watched the video this morning. Right, I was watching it on my computer. It was the nicest computer you've ever seen. A beautiful computer on this desk, on this shiny, shiny desk. Melania, get off the desk, please. And it was Tampon Tim on this podcast. This guy who's trying to like imitate my hair. His hair is just absolutely nasty. This not like my hair. My hair is the best ever. Some guy from California has Tampon Tim talking about wrestling, about WWE. First of all, it's fake, just like your news. WWE. It's so convenient that you're bringing fake news and using fake wrestling to add to your fake news, and I have nothing more to say about that. There's a liberal here named Bobby. Is that his name? Nico? Bobby Ambrose.
Bobby.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you the floor, but you know.
Yeah, Tampon Tim. I call here. What do you go? I saw Tim Walz. Tampon Tim. I call him. Yeah, no, that's funny. Yeah, fake news. I really got to work on my Trump because it brings a lot to the show. It's so funny. Well, shot him like a dog, or he died like a dog. That's the best video ever. Barack Obama's right, like presidential and serious, and then they cut to Trump. He died like a dog.
TikTok cut the sound out. I have it saved on my wall, and they eliminated the sound, which defeats the purpose.
Yeah. Derek says, Tampon Tim. Steven, my tampon is my strength, you guys. And Memorino brings it home with calling Walls a beta. And yeah, I mean, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with not being a masculine guy. It's just really hilarious when like those guys try to be like, don't.
And that's the problem.
Don't challenge people to fights when you're Tim Walls, right?
And that's the problem Nico got. He ain't got a problem with betas. Just stop being out there acting like
you're
not. Yeah, this rat turned out to be a mouse, Nico.
It's look at like, why is it not sharing? Hold on. This is the point. Like, just so that we're all aware of who we're talking about. This is the guy that says that he can kick the ass of most Republicans. Brother, if by kicking the ass means sucking their cocks, I agree.
Ooh, translation, please.
Yeah. No.
Well, I mean, we all know who wins between him and Vance, right?
Oh,
he can't even beat Vance, who's fucking out of shape. Vance looked like he ain't missed too many fucking meals either, but I bet you Vance will rock that.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's a fight he wouldn't even take. We all know that if there was an invitation out there, that would be a great invitation, though. JD Vance just, you know what, Timmy? I got you. Please show up to this place. You know what? No. Hey, JD Vance organizing a fight between Tim Walls and himself in the WWE as a fundraiser.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like, Walls, he's an old man. Like it's just ridiculous that he even goes down that route. And the Democrats kind of got in that because they tried to portray this guy as the ultimate in masculinity. And it's like, don't do that, right? Don't do that.
Doesn't he look like the type of uncle you don't want to sit on his lap?
Yeah, exactly. The handsy uncle that everyone avoids at fucking Christmas time.
Like, he looks like you put enough alcohol in that dude and you really don't want to be close to him.
Osama bin Laden,
yeah, this is it.
Is dead. Today, at my direction, the United States launched a targeted operation against that compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan.
He died like a dog. He died like a coward.
After a firefight, they killed Osama bin Laden and took custody of his body.
It was something really amazing to see. I got to watch it. Well, I don't want to say how, but we had absolutely perfect, as though you were watching a movie.
Tonight, we give thanks to the countless intelligence and counterterrorism professionals who've worked tirelessly to achieve this outcome.
Died like a coward. He was whimpering, screaming, and crying. And frankly, I think it's something that should be brought out.
The United States has conducted.
That is so funny.
That's
probably one of my favorites.
Book coming out. At the very end, he says, I have a new book coming out.
With Obama's about bin Laden.
It's definitely contrast in the way they approach things.
In styles, for sure.
It's fucking entertaining, though. Love Trump or hate him, nobody can tell me they're not entertained. And remember that he's only been in office for 8 weeks. I think it's his 9th week right now.
Yeah.
Feels like he's been there forever. Feels like he's been in power for 2 years now, but it's been 9 weeks.
It really does.
Can we just
take a second, though, and like, how fucking cool would that be to see live something like that, right? Like a live fucking special forces mission in real time from a fucking drone or something. That'd be worth the price of admission.
Why from a drone? You can they could carry the cameras on themselves, right?
You think they had? Yeah, they probably had that too.
No, they do. I got a buddy of mine that did some special missions. And
on
the helmet. Like
they
a lot
probably
of the
had
helmets, they have the camera and he got to keep them. He has boxes filled with camera stuff. He got to keep them. That was just the weirdest fucking thing. But yeah,
You think that'd be operational security, but
I don't think they care. I don't think it's not recent, right? It was
maybe
quite a
they
few
want
years
those
ago,
videos
so
to get out there, strike fear.
no, but it's one of the things you're going to see about governments, they're not very good with technology. They're very behind when it comes to understanding governments, and it makes sense because most of the people in government are old people. So you can't expect the 65, 7-year-old to understand. See, and that's the difference. Timmy Tampon does not understand technology the way
he doesn't even
Histon
understand
does.
biology. He doesn't even understand biology. He's
I can't stop. I'm not able to say Tim Walz. It's
No.
harder for me to say Tim Walz than it is to say
That's
Timmy
the
Tampon.
magic of Trump. He gives you these names that will last.
They
so
stick,
good.
right? They
Do you
stick.
think I will ever call Elizabeth
Sleepy
Warren
Joe
again? I can
Sleepy
never
Joe was
call
great, too.
Elizabeth Warren. I cannot call. I mean, I call Elizabeth Warren, but in the back of my mind, Trump is saying, "You know." He's saying, "You know."
Say it,
Guys. An hour 15 minutes in, I think we're good to go.
May I have
we
a
did 2 days in a row? I showed all my videos.
I have a 60-second closing
2
thought.
days in a row.
Yep,
that was great.
Hey, 7 videos in 1 hour.
That's fucking.
Let's just do our quick sign off, Jason, and then you can end with that. Just wanted to say thank you guys for everything. We appreciate all the new faces we saw here today, and of course our regulars that keep coming back every day. Really, we couldn't do the show without you, and keep coming back because you guys is what makes the show. I know Nico talks about this a lot. That one episode we had where we weren't live, and it's a completely different show. And the difference is you guys. So yeah, please keep coming back. Thanks for taking the time to be here today. Yeah, it makes such a big difference, eh?
Thank you to Prairie. Thank you to Bernadette. Thank you to Tony G. Thank you to
Tony G.
Marino. Thank you for
Steven, of course.
Derek Zimmerman, my man. Yep.
Steven Zimmerman, man, like
everybody.
Polar Nights.
Yeah.
The Barber, bro. People, thank you. Thank you for being here. It's not this. It wouldn't be the same without you. Thank you for sharing your valuable time with us, and we're glad that you're here. We hope we get to see you again. And I apologize for this, but Jason's already kind of tried to piece his shit together through our podcast. He's gonna try to do it again.
Here's the plug.
If you had enough,
he's got a thought of the day. You can tell.
No, but it's okay. If you have to leave, we understand. This is the time to go. But until
we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Oh
Jason,
shit!
sign us off, brother.
All right, so guys.
Jason.
Listen, when you hear us talk, including the lefties, you think we lean more right than left, but we're still avid lefties. The fact of the matter is, like, I can criticize Mitch McConnell all I want. This speech sounds familiar to you. I can criticize Ted Cruz all I want. I can criticize Donald Trump all I want. But these people didn't run on Medicare for all. These people didn't run on having a livable wage. These people didn't run on reparations or all the other issues that appeal to you. Democrats did. They made those promises. We voted them in, and they betrayed our word. So if you want to change policy, and if you want to shut us up and have us galvanize, energize, and magnetize, the two things are: you got to have demands for your Congress people. List 5 demands. Have a town hall meeting. Have all the Congress people consolidate those 5 demands, and you'll find out it's only going to amount to 3. All right, which is contribute to the American way. Take care of our own. Medicare for all, a livable wage. Make sure people don't live long enough just to be broke. And I'll end on that with my horn.
Very nice. He's obviously speaking for the left side. Oh,
it took 3 minutes from submitting my approval to getting my life back. So no damage done. You're all good. We're always happy to have you on, and we're always happy to have everybody else out there on. So thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow.